Test, 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 test. Hello, chat. What's going on, fellers? What's cracking, y'alls? What's up, Sebastian? What's up, Brad? What's up, fine sir? Dirty Bass. How we doing, chat? How we doing, guys? I am so sorry to be away from you guys for so long. I had some stuff going on. Yesterday, I tried to go live. I was live for a few minutes, and then my internet cut out. All is well now. It's good. It's good. It's good. How we doing, guys? How was y'all's weekend? Sunday night. I did a live for 20 minutes with one person. What's going on, guys? I just ate some banh mi, and I'm so full. I am so full, y'all. Better duck and dive. Dean and Parker coming your way. I was just on Dean's live. I was just on a panel with Dean. Maybe like an hour ago, maybe a little more. Guys, I'm like, woo, woo. Yellow.
Fuck you, Pickles.
Oh man, that's hurtful.
Fuck you. You know you did.
What did I do?
You bullied me in high school.
Dude, I got bullied in high school. There's no possible way I bullied you in high school.
You bullied me, dude. Chandler from high school, you don't remember me?
No.
Texas?
In the high school in Texas?
Yeah.
You got me. That one high school?
Who bullied you, dude? I only remember you being the bully, dude.
Yeah, right.
You're the one doing the abuse. Who bullied you, huh? Tell me his name right now, because I know you're bullshitting.
No.
Yeah, you're a liar.
No. No.
Now you're doing this. You used to be an amazing jock, used to play high school football, and now you're a full-time streamer making a lot of money.
That's
Going on political tours, make a lot of money whilst I'm working my 9 to 5,
I was not a
not doing
jock.
anything.
I was a
Now you got a
skateboarder in
hot
high
wife
school, bro.
and all that.
I was a skateboarder. I
You
was a
know,
little geek with
you
emo
know,
hair, bro.
it's never the nice guys that like become successful, like the people who actually work hard in high school. It's always the jocks like you who bully people that become successful
The
and get hot
jocks?
wives
I was 6'4",
and get a high
145
paying job.
pounds. I was 145 pounds, 6'4" in high school, bro.
You were 6'4"? Come
Yeah.
on now.
I was a skinny. I was fucking Jack Skellington in high school, bro.
So if you were 6'4", then how could you get bullied? How does that work?
Because I was a skinny bitch, dude. I'm gonna go to
How
the
tall
next
is the
guest.
guy who bullies you?
I don't know.
How-
I don't know. I did get punched by a short kid.
Hello?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Uh, sure am.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Well, I like that he's bringing down the inflation. That's for one. I like
Yeah,
that he's sticking it up to Mister what's his name in Ukraine, Zelensky.
he's sticking up to Zelensky, the guy who's being invaded.
Mm-hmm.
And are you aware that the economy is in the trash right now, and we are going to see skyrocketing inflation starting like next month, right? You thought 9% inflation was bad? Wait till you see
What are you, an
200%.
economist? Are
Wait
you a
till you see,
economist, sir?
wait till you see hyperinflation. You know what hyperinflation is? When
You're
you put a two,
hyperinflation right now. That's right. You want me to? You're sitting up here making millions, bullying people, and mocking Trump.
millions.
Mm-hmm. You heard me.
You caught me. You caught me.
Now, our country's better off without this. With with Trump.
Okay. Okay, what do you say to grocery stores and basically all stores who's crying from the rooftops right now that their shelves will be empty by next month?
Prove it. Give me one store that's complaining.
Walmart.
Walmart. They ain't complaining.
Yeah, they are. Their shelves will be empty, I believe, by early June.
Well, we got some time before it gets bad, but Trump can reverse it.
He can reverse it. He can undo what he thinks is good for the economy, and that would be good for the economy. You're
No,
right.
I mean he can reverse Biden's bad economy.
The things causing inflation and for stores to have barren shelves, that is Trump and his tariffs.
Nope. It was Biden. Biden, all of his DEIs, first of all, causing the inflation.
So people of other races, not white people, were causing the store shelves to become barren.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about DEI.
What did the DEIs do? Tell me that logic. Go ahead. What did the DEI do to you?
It put the people that weren't qualified in the positions.
And what people would that be? The white men?
Anybody who's unqualified.
So what were they doing to make unqualified people get hired? Are you talking about affirmative action?
Yeah.
That was already undone during Biden's presidency.
I never heard of that, but
Yeah, it was a Supreme Court
I will-
ruling.
well, how about the No Child Left Behind?
That was Bush.
Yeah. I don't believe that. Hello?
Hi.
So what you got to say about that?
Dude, I don't know. This might be the first debate I lose. This might be the first debate I've ever lost.
All right. Well, when you all going to debate Charlie Kirk?
Don't you worry, we're coming for his ass.
He ready to bunk y'all.
Nuh-uh.
He debunked Parker
Nuh-uh.
on Jubilee.
No, he didn't.
Next is coming for you to debunk you and all your lies. Making up here millions while people are starving out there. Can't even pay their bills.
What are you, a communist?
No, but
Do you want my money?
y'all little kids are making all this money on TikTok. Well, we got real jobs. Get a real job, sir.
Pull yourself up by your bootstrap.
Learn the trades. You ever drive? Drive a truck?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you should be doing right now. A country needs truck drivers.
I feel like
We don't need none of these TikTokers.
you're right. I should go do something that will probably be
Plumbing.
automated in 5 years.
We need plumbers, electricians. We need all that, but we don't got them no more because all these Americans don't want to work no more. That's why we're getting Trump in to get all these other people out there. The what you call it, immigrants. We don't need them in our country.
Oh man. All right.
Hey, what y'all feel about the LBGDs?
I got a 60-inch one of those in my room.
Excuse me?
The LG flat screens?
The LBGDs.
I don't know what that is.
What's the matter? Cat's got your tongue. You ain't talking no more. You heard me.
All right. True Investments. I love you so much and welcome back anytime, okay?
I'm praying for you.
Thank you.
Okay, that guy was that guy for real?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I shouldn't laugh, but that was funny. Like, the LGB what?
I don't know.
Is this really what I supported and who I was with?
Yeah.
Is this really what MAGA is?
Don't even try, Ty. Don't even try.
Okay, what can I not try?
I
just
know.
wanted to have a conversation.
All right. What do you know, Ty?
So have you done anything that you regret in your past?
Yep.
Okay, great. And you believe you can change, right?
Sure.
Okay, great. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, there's probably like, if this is real and genuine, I encourage you to maybe take a back seat and stop trying to like do this thing where like I just spoke to you last week and you told me that Charlie's coming for me or something like that, and this week you're like full throttle pretending like you've deconstructed the alt-right.
I never said I deconstructed, but I am trying to learn. I'm trying to grow and change.
Yeah, maybe take a little back seat, Ty. Maybe take a little back seat.
I mean, do you believe that like I can't change as a person and grow and learn?
I don't think that people would I don't think people would be right to trust you right away to just fully embrace you and be like, yeah, because it feels like a trick. It feels like
Why?
a lie. It doesn't
How
feel
does
genuine.
You don't believe I'm being genuine?
No.
I mean, is this not the first time we've talked?
We've talked plenty of times, yeah.
Okay, great. And maybe I have not said the most compassionate things, but I can't regret my vote now.
You're more than welcome to, but I don't feel like you can start cheering for the other side just yet. I feel like you got a lot of making up to do if this is real.
Like, what do I have to make up?
I don't know. Maybe go volunteer at some fucking women's shelters.
Like,
or
what have I
something.
done or said that would make you believe otherwise?
I don't know. I don't know, Ty. Not
Like-
around women. You're right. I don't know.
So I can't consider myself a liberal now and an advocate for people that
Oh, hey, Pickles.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Hey,
Like I
Ty.
can't. What?
Hey, Ty. I was modding in Mo Moderates this morning, and you compared abortion rights to the Schmolocaust. You're
So
stoically writing D for Trump. So I don't
so
know
do
who you think you're fooling.
so do you understand why I was saying that?
Because you're not a liberal, because you're not deconstructing, because you're a bigot, and because you don't like women? Yeah, sure.
So I was saying in the sense that everyone loves to say that men cannot have a voice.
Nobody even brought that up. That wasn't the conversation. You, per usual, brought up abortion out of nowhere.
Yes,
After
because they were
I was
bringing
pushing
up
back on
something
you
that said I
and
was
whatever's happening.
denying something.
I'm sorry?
They said I was denying something, that I'm a sympathizer or something.
What does that have to do with what I just said to you?
So they were. Was it when they were bringing up a recording of me talking about something?
I don't think so.
So what are you trying to say?
I think here's the primary problem that we're having, Ty. You bounce around so much with no filter and absolutely no facts, but very strong and offensive opinions that you don't even know what you said, where you've said it, and what discussions you're actually having. So why would we trust you to come up here in Pickle's platform with our lovely community of bubs and say, hey, we should talk to this person and help them with this? Because I think I can speak for most of us saying we're happy to help you deconstruct. It's great if you actually feel this way. 100%. If you regret your vote, let's move forward and start doing good advocacy. But you have to do the work first. And unfortunately, you've already been caught red-handed, not being authentic about this because you
And how am
don't
I not
espouse these values.
authentic?
Because you're lying up here for no reason. I don't.
What am I lying about? I
Not
can't
even
change.
fun.
I can't try to change as a person.
What are you trying to change, Ty?
I'm trying to understand that the rhetoric that the president is spewing is not okay.
Be more
And
specific.
his rhetoric towards minorities, his rhetoric towards Muslims, towards Hispanic people, how he has treated world leaders.
Okay. So are you just having this recognition? Is there something specific he said? Because he's been doing this. I'll be honest with you. He's been doing it. It's not new.
Can I say I wasn't aware of it?
No, because we taught you many times. But if something you found more impactful specifically, I think that might help.
It's I can't just change just because.
Oh, because this morning you literally compared pregnant women to Schmittler. So, like, when you're talking about rhetoric being harmful to communities of people, that's really harmful to a very large community of people. And so I
Okay,
don't
maybe
really
I should not
trust
have
that
said
you're
that.
actually deconstructing your crystallized public opinion.
Okay, and I should not have said that.
But here's the thing, Ty. I'm happy to even help you with your journey, but I know I'm going to see you on another live within the next 48 hours doing the same thing. And if you can guarantee that that's not going to happen, then sure, maybe we can hold space, have these conversations, but we just don't trust you.
Okay, and I won't do that.
Cool. Well, I think Pickles made a really good recommendation to you to maybe take a seat back because you haven't had enough space and time to actually work on any of this, to discuss maybe why you had these thoughts before, why something triggered you suddenly. I mean, there's a lot that we've gone through as a country, and if you need that space to actually talk to people, go to therapy, talk to your peers, do that. But you shouldn't be espousing like your changes as they're happening live. It's not healthy for anyone.
Yeah, it's very awkward and off-putting. I don't think any normal person would be welcoming this behavior and pretending like nothing happened.
Have I said anything I mean, yes, I know you said something. I said something that was harmful, but I'm not rude to anyone, right?
You literally compared pregnant women to Schmittler. That's pretty rude.
And I said I'm sorry
And I
for
accept
that.
your apology. That's fine. That's all cool and great. I don't really care. No sweat off my back right now. But I'm just saying, you said it this morning, man. So I don't know how liberal you could possibly be.
And then I'm trying to see the wrongs that I have said or done.
Can I just answer
And
this? What do you want from us? Why did you come up here? What do you want?
I'm trying to help. How can I become a better person? How can I become more educated on
Stop
these
talking too much
topics?
and start listening to us. Read
Okay.
books. Go to your capital when protests are happening. Do the work.
And I mean, I'm not the most literate person ever, so reading is hard for me.
That's fair. That's very fair. Audiobooks exist. If you don't even know where to start, I'd say, a really great place is get an audiobook of bell hooks on pedagogy or feminism intersectionally. There's a lot of places you can start, even just starting with fascistic books or learning more about our world leaders or our constitution. I mean, it's important for you to have interest in it first.
These are really the, like, where is it?
Hey, Magic. Oh,
Oh,
Ricardo, are you a Trump supporter?
Well, I voted for him, but he's doing something that's gonna affect me. So, man, I'm not liking that too much.
The most MAGA thing I've ever heard.
Wow, there's two of them right now.
Man, so what happens is I have a business for 30 years, and I hear Trump wants to make the week 32 hours, and I love giving my employees like overtime. So that's gonna affect me because I have to pay my workers more money. So I'm gonna have to pay them more money to give them the same hours I normally give them. So yeah, I just wanted to say that's gonna affect me because I have to pay my workers more money if that happens.
When did he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talked about it. Yeah, he's talked about it. That that's something he wants to do. So if he does do that, um, yeah, I'll just have to pay my workers more, so I'll get less money for my business, and the workers will be getting more money because I always want to give my workers 54 hours. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
I mean,
What do you
these are
think
really the
about?
only books I have.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about that if that
I think
happens?
32 work hour weeks would be fine, but I doubt that's a Trump policy. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
By all
I
means, less
just,
hours means
So
less pay.
so what'll happen is after those 32 hours, it will be overtime.
Yeah, I know. President Trump has not proposed a 32-hour work week, nor has he publicly addressed the idea. So yeah, this is not. It's a bill introduced in 2023. This stems from a bill introduced in 2023 by Rep. Mark Takano, a Democrat in California, titled the 32-Hour Workweek Act. So again, I told you this is probably something we advocated for, not Trump.
Okay, so yeah, if Trump doesn't do that, then that's not gonna affect me, and I'm kind of okay with most of the stuff Trump is doing. But yeah, that was something I was a
What kind
little
of
bit
business
worried
do you
about.
run?
Yeah, you know what? I have a tire shop. Yeah, and I have 5 employees. So if that were to
Where do you
happen,
get your tires from?
you know what? I get my tires from different warehouses depending on what brand that.
Are your tires made in China, my friend?
You know what? It depends on what the customer wants.
The vast
Some are.
majority of tires are made in China, and your tires were probably going to go up by 250%. Shouldn't you be more worried about that, brother?
So yeah, if that happens, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to lower my prices because I'm gonna have to lower my prices to the consumers so that they're able to buy it to be able to compete with the other people.
So you're probably going to have to raise your prices because you can't eat 200% taxes on a tire you probably have what, like a 20 or 40% profit margin on? So I don't think that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be raising your prices. If you need help with your business, you might use ChatGPT.
So what's been happening lately is that since the economy is a little bit tougher, if I'm not lowering my prices right now, they're just going to the next shop because the other shops are lowering their prices because
Yeah,
customers
we're
right now are shopping.
how often do you refill? Do you think that your supplier restocks their tires? Do you think it's about another month or two before they're out of tires to sell you, and then they're going to give you these new tariff price tires?
Yeah, that seems like it's probably gonna happen if the tariffs come into effect.
They're already in effect, my friend.
Yeah. So
Honestly,
so
this just seems like free market capitalism to me.
okay, so
Yeah,
so
Ricardo,
anyway,
you're
if
going to be in
after
poor shape here soon, bub. I wish you luck.
okay, thank you.
Has it been like this?
I feel like two how could like two disingenuous as fuck Trump supporters in a row. How sad is it, chat? How sad is it to watch these people? They can't defend Trump anymore, so they come up here and they have to cosplay.
Yeah, I've been seeing the intersection of that and like a lot of black pill content, which has been really horrifying because I think they're starting to feel the reality of what's going on and they're defiant.
Hello?
Yep. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, but I did vote for him.
So you regret your vote?
Yeah, I did vote for him because I felt like the Democratic Party of throwing Kamala Harris out there at like the last second didn't really seem that like, yeah, the Democratic Party has a full on plan. And like, I just want to get your take on, do you think the Democratic Party needs to reinvent itself?
No,
And why not?
because y'all only won by 1.7%, and soon the whole world is going to see that Trump didn't have a plan for the economy because of the way
Yeah,
he's
that I
handled
believe.
tariffs, and that he
Yeah,
didn't
that
have a plan to solve the wars like he promised. He didn't have a plan to lower gas prices or lower food prices or lower egg prices or do anything of the sort. He's just up there trying to break the law and consolidate power and fuck people over and send the DOJ after his enemies and write crazy executive orders.
mhm.
I think it'll speak for itself, and we'll have another landslide victory here in a few years.
So do you think in primary, so from your messages from what I'm hearing, do you think the primary, next upcoming primaries is very important for the Democratic Party?
Also, real quick, Pickles. Welcome, Dean Raiders. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Please continue to tap the screen. Go on, sorry.
In order to keep that momentum?
I'm sorry. Do
So
you
like the
think
next upcoming like primaries for like the congressional caucuses, the congressional house, do you think that's important or no? Do you think that like people within the who believe that MAGA is like kind of like me, like the Democratic Party was just a mess, and I don't think the Democratic Party is gonna turn anything around or like get anything around.
I don't think so. I think anybody who says that's not being very genuine and probably doesn't actually read anything about what the Democrats' plans are. Like you just said something a second ago, how the Democrats didn't actually have a plan, and it's literally the opposite. Trump didn't have a plan, and if you go on his website right now, you can look at his stupid plan. It's Project 2024 or Agenda 47,
So, yeah,
and it looks really stupid. There's words in there such as end inflation, and he's going to increase energy independence again, while Biden was already more energy independent than he was, and Kamala Harris had an 82-page PDF that had a step-by-step, very detailed plan about what she was going to do for the economy. And Trump just
mm-mm.
had like an eighth grader's like class president project on his website. It was 16 pages, and it was full of bullshit. It was
Okay.
very sad that anybody voted for it.
So yeah, question. So why do you believe that people voted for Trump?
They were misled by things in the news that Trump constantly had to be on the news saying things like they're eating the cats and the dogs, that they're people that are violent and they're raping people and they're stealing your jobs and they're poisoning the blood of the country and just saying the most insane things and creating
So a
doubt
lot
and
of fear mongering.
skepticism. A lot of fear mongering and creating doubt and skepticism, saying that things like there's a like corrupt government or three-letter agencies going after him, And when we see what that actually looks like after he gets into office, writing executive orders telling the DOJ to go directly after his opponents, we've never seen that before. And that's what that looks like. It doesn't look like people who have strong like indictments with their name on it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like indictments that have been approved by grand juries with hundreds of pages of evidence. That's not what DOJ like. That's not what like political warfare looks like, or lawfare. It looks like this. It looks like what Trump is doing by defunding Harvard, who's like he's threatening to defund them if they don't bend to his will.
Yeah, you know
He's
it's
doing
bad when,
straight up
Well,
fascism right now.
well,
when Candace
yeah,
Owens
I
even
do.
says
Yeah,
that he's
I
going
do agree with
against
that.
it.
I do agree with that point in terms of like the whole sociological idea of MAGA in general. It's like a whole social movement and the whole populist movement. It's like this is not what I signed up for. Signed up for like better economy, bringing the country straight on track, stuff like that he promised in the campaign trail. This wasn't.
He didn't tell anybody an actual plan. He just said, "I'm gonna make the economy good." He just said it over and over
Yeah,
again, and that's
yeah.
what dumb people took, and they're like, "Yeah, I believe that." He
I
said it.
wouldn't say dumb people because you gotta understand, bro. It's like a lot of college kids too voted for him. Like that's the one thing that Kamala Harris didn't like focus on. I want to say she didn't really focus on the youth. She kind of like thought that the youth was just gonna vote for her.
Well,
No
we
offense.
also don't have a stronghold on the independent media channels. It's very much a
That,
right-wing and
but
extremist thing.
yeah, that too. It's like a lot of like the shows like Tucker Carlson and all those other people, like a lot of right wing media have that lock. But I've been looking at Adam Melanakis, that liberal channel. He's getting up there in terms of left wing media. Okay. Yeah, those are my questions. Good.
All right, I appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Y'all, tap the screen, subscribe to Pickles. Please don't forget, he's got his pay links in his bio. I'm just gonna be here doing the glazy thing for a sec.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
What do you like about Trump?
Well, I was just chiming in, and I heard you said that Kamala did have a plan,
Yeah.
policy plan.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that she had promised that nobody voted for her? I mean, she, as a vice president, wouldn't you think like her goals as a president would kind of like reflect on
I don't
her
think
doings
anybody
as
had
a vice
time to go
president?
over people's actual policy proposals. They were just hearing Trump's insane rhetoric in the news every day, and that's all people would talk about. Like, no one wants to hear about how Kamala is going to build 3 million extra houses while Trump just claims she's not black. That's what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about Kamala's economic plan. We're going to talk about how absurd Trump's rhetoric is. And that's what he did. It was by design, and people ate it up.
So people voted for Trump because he dissed Kamala?
Yeah.
You're wrong, brother.
Well, his rhetoric
You're
is
wrong.
extremely sensationalized. It's designed to not only be overt, but also to capture media attention. People who are focused on, identity
You guys
politics,
know that
race.
the
I
Democrats own
don't
the
know
media,
why you
right?
have to talk over me
That's
immediately.
not true. I'm about to find you a little something right now, actually. Argent, if you're listening, Argent, can you send that social media chart that you showed me the other day? There's a nice chart that shows about how the right wing has captured the most of the social media outlets, and it's like threefold more than the Democrats have right now. So, like, if you add up all the followers on Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk and all those people, it amounts to like 2 or 3 times more than all of the people that follow all of the left-wing creators. So it's not necessarily true anymore. Also, Fox is the biggest mainstream media outlet in the world. So you'd have to somehow explain that away, which I doubt you can.
So what source are you looking at?
Give me a sec.
Also, did they not attack Trump?
They attack Trump rightfully so because he says most insane shit. He can't make friends. His debut into politics was saying Obama was Kenyan and leader of ISIS.
Okay, so didn't they try to kill him?
Your
Didn't they
side,
try to?
yeah.
Didn't they try to?
You mean a
Didn't they
19-year-old
try?
kid on your side?
Didn't they try to lock him up? Didn't they try to?
They tried to lock him up because he committed crimes.
Okay, so where was the jury then? Why was that court? Why did that judge order
He was
a?
convicted for 34 felonies.
Yeah, but there was no jury.
What?
There was no jury. You guys talk about due process. There was no jury.
Of course there
in
was
that.
a jury. What do you mean there was no
Why-
jury?
Why was there a gag order then? Why was
You
there a
can't
gag order?
you can't attack the jury as a fucking defendant in a trial.
There
Like
was
a
no
mob
jury.
boss. Yes, there was
There
a
was-
jury.
No, there
What do you
wasn't.
mean there was no jury?
There
There was
no
of
jury in
course
that
a
court.
jury. There was jury instructions which people were raising hell about. There was a jury.
There was no jury. There was no due
There-
process.
there's
for
Are you
absolutely a
fucking
jury.
serious that there wasn't
If
a
you
jury?
guys continue
Yeah,
to
I'm
complain
fucking
about it being held in
serious.
New York because you thought it wouldn't be a fair trial, I
Yeah.
mean, what are you talking
Yeah.
about?
See, so what is this? 2-on-1. You let talk about me.
Here, I'll
Talking
go
over
on
you.
mute.
You keep
Don't be
interrupting
scared.
me.
She's
Don't
on
worry.
mute. She's on
Interrupting
mute.
me.
I'm gonna bring up the jury form and I'll let you look at it, okay? Is that gonna resolve your issue? Now you're gonna say he's been convicted?
Yeah, but what source are you looking at?
The fucking court docket.
Like you said, everybody voted for Trump because he was talking shit about Kamala.
No, because he said sensational, insane things in the media and shotgun
what?
lies into the air all day, every day. And
So
yes,
why-
it's very easy to take over the media with like fascist rhetoric, such as they're bringing bad genes and poisoning the blood of our country. He got more airtime than any person in human history saying these things. Nobody could get their point across. No one could point out their political plans.
Okay, so you guys so high on Kamala. Why, as the border Caesar, she didn't close the border?
You mean SAR?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a border czar in the United States.
I guess now there is technically.
But now there is Tom Homan is, but there's no
Okay,
such
so
thing.
what-
So the only
okay,
thing she
Let me ask you guys this then. Let me ask you this. What did Kamala, as a vice president, accomplish?
So,
That
in
promised
regards-
her
in
a
regards-
seat. No, listen. That promised her a seat as a president because there was no primaries. Even Obama didn't want to support her.
She was a vice president. She met with 150 world leaders as a diplomat, as
primaries.
vice president. As vice president, she also went south of the border and helped the Triangle countries, El Salvador, Ecuador, and I always forget the
Oh, the
last one.
American people.
And
American people.
You asked me what she did for the border. She stopped the source of people migrating from those countries. She stopped the source of the people migrating from the countries. She raised $5.2 billion in private money, not government taxes, private money to create 70,000 jobs so that people would stop migrating to this country. And it was effective.
Then why was there the most people that crossed the border during their reign?
This was a worldwide event. So you guys were tricked into thinking that it was Biden's fault, or that he opened the border. None of the data shows that he just let more people through. In fact, he was more stringent. He stopped more people by percentages. He stopped more people. He even deported more people than Trump. He's deported 20,000 more people than Trump
Dude,
is
you is
month by
high,
month.
dude. You is high.
I can just show you this data. I'm not high. I'm sober.
You is high. You can show me all the data you like. It's all BS. Because
You mean
the
Trump
numbers
told you
don't add up.
differently, and that's what you believe?
The numbers don't add up. Where's your receipt?
The
What are you
numbers
even
don't
here,
add up.
man?
Where's your Kristen?
Yeah, I get it. You're intimidated by women. I'll be quiet.
So
No,
facts
not
over
intimidating.
feelings,
Dude,
my
what is
friend.
this,
I can
gangbang?
show you
You
whatever
trying to
piece.
gangbang on me?
I can show you whatever piece of data you want, but facts over feelings, my friend.
Okay, so then again, so why did 77 million people vote for Trump? Because you're saying that.
Because
If
I
Kamala
told you
did
more
such a good
people.
job as a vice president, then why were there a primary after Joe Biden?
Incumbent presidents do not have to run a primary.
So okay,
Did Trump
so
run a primary in his 2020 election?
yes,
No, he did not.
yes, he did. So
No,
you're telling me
he
he's
did
the
not.
only candidate?
No,
He's the only
he did not. He
candidate?
was the incumbent. He didn't run a primary.
So that was the only candidate that the Republicans had was Trump.
Correct.
You're wrong, bro.
Dude, are you seriously about to get dunked on twice in a row? You thought there was no jury for his 34 felonies. Now you're saying that there was a primary?
Okay, so buddy, if he had 34 counts of felony, why is he president?
He's literally a convicted felon. Are you
Because
debating
the lies
that?
that you believe in is not true, bro.
What part of his
That's
felonies
facts.
weren't true?
If the receipts are saying, if you have receipts, brother, the law is the law. So this is what the Democrats say.
Sir, it
Oh,
doesn't
he's above the
disqualify
law.
him from being
He's
elected.
above the law.
It doesn't
How is he
disqualify
above
him.
the law?
When you're
How is
president,
Trump
you
above the
you
law?
can't be pursued for crimes as a sitting president. That's why. He is literally above the law right now. And he also has he also got the Supreme Court, 3 of which the judges that he put into the Supreme Court, 3 of them were his, and they gave him presidential immunity. Did you know that? 3 of the
No.
9?
No, because it's not true.
Okay.
Supreme Court did nothing the last 4 years.
Are you fucking serious?
Nothing.
Sorry,
Nothing.
Douglas is here too.
Are you fucking high? Like, what are you talking about?
I did.
You might be the dumbest motherfucker Pickles has had on his panel in ages.
Well, Ty was just here too, so.
You literally saying
Who is
that's
this?
a lie, that the Supreme Court did not give a sitting president complete fucking immunity for, quote, president
Wait a minute.
capacity of his fucking office.
Announce yourself
You're an
before you start
idiot.
talking shit, you faggot.
Oh, charming. Charming.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, it
That's how
doesn't
you-
even make sense because he's with me. Like, what are you talking about?
Guys, you can't say slurs. People, if anyone else is wondering why Trump won, people like that. That's why Trump won. Nobody who was smart was involved. Don't ever accuse them of being smart.
Also, apologies to our rainbow community. That's gross and horrifying. We do not support that. Tap the screen, please.
Good lord, dude. Also, I need to add a different source for this, but this is the article I was talking about. The right dominates the online media ecosystem, seeping into sports, comedy, and supposed non-political spaces. So, like, think about if you're like a health nut or a gym bro or a sports nut. And all of these people who are online personalities, they're like, oh, you want to get tough? You want to get built? Here's your red pill fucking regimen you need to start hating women. You know, you need to be a high quality man. That's what they do. And then you all of a sudden you're a fucking alt-righter. They dominate. So the YouTube as well. If you go look at my YouTube chat, there's just an insane amount of them right now.
Do you see how there's a memorandum that was released that effectively allows ICE to enter your home without a warrant if they suspect an undocumented immigrant is in there?
Not even, is it within the 100 miles of the border? Or is that nationwide now?
That's a memorandum that was released by the Trump administration. It's not within 100 miles of the border, at least, unless there's something else that was added. I guess next we're gonna start quartering the king's men or something.
Yeah.
Oh, this is annoying. My OBS is frozen. Oh, there we go. Where are you?
Oh,
Yes.
also, please check Venmo, Pickles. So I think Chicky sent you something.
Ah, I'm sorry. Chicky, love the poorly educated, 77 U.S. citizens. Hell yeah, I like this guy. I love that. Much love. Thank you so much. Oof. Hold on, guys. Yellow.
Hello.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
Is that who you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for debates. I appreciate you coming up.
All right.
This is much better right here. Yellow.
Hello. Hello.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I mean, a few different things. I like that he's strong on the immigration on the border. And really, I have grown to have such disdain for like the left. Um, just through like, it just seems like there's just so much brainwash stuff that it's like if you just take all these articles and stories at how they purport it, like you'll think Trump is like this super racist, super evil, like trying to be a dictator at all costs. Like that's like it feels like that's just the narrative they want to spin. And every time I feel like I look more into things, it's like a lot of this stuff is so misrepresented just to make you hate the guy. And there's a lot of people that hate him, and he's not perfect. He is kind of an asshole. But
Yeah,
I do think he has some good leader qualities.
I don't think he has any good leader qualities, to be honest. Like, I don't think that he's been able to like call himself out from his mistakes, or say when he's wrong, or show integrity, or like be nice to our allies at all, or stick up for the small guy, or be mean, or show strength or stoicism towards the bad guys like Russia. It seems like he like just really looks up to all the dictators and likes to bump elbows with them, like Bukele and Putin and Kim Jong Un. It seems like Viktor Orban. Those are like all of his best friends. Bibi Netanyahu, like all the people that are dictators, he's just taking notes from all of them and
I wouldn't say
doing
they're
that
his
stuff
best
here.
friends.
He's doing all of those things here.
So, I mean, Bukele gets a terrible rap, but his own country, he has 80 to 90% approval ratings. And these are like third party.
Okay, would you want a dictator like that?
Well, hold on. That was the murder capital of the world before he took over. It was one of the most dangerous countries where kids were getting kidnapped.
Yeah, we're not that
raped.
country. We don't need that.
I understand, but you can't like hate on Bukele because he has turned.
You absolutely can.
Well, in fairness, Pickles, we did have basically a 2-year-old citizen kidnapped yesterday, but it was by our own government, so I don't know.
So no, that's also misrepresented because it was the mother that was an illegal, had illegal status and was deported, and the mother decided to take her 2-year-old daughter with her.
That's not
it
true
wasn't
either.
They just scooped up a 2-year-old girl.
The father was petitioning to keep the child here, and they wouldn't let her. So you're wrong.
Well, no, it's still she went with her mother. Like it's not like they just scooped up a 2-year-old and just sent her. Like that's how they make it sound.
It's
like
there's like
it's
4
more
of them now.
political
It's not just
than that.
2. Yeah.
Like,
so these are the things you guys really want. You really want kids and ripped out of their parents' arms. You want them sent away, even though the dad's still here, isn't he? That's what you want. You want to rip.
I mean, we don't know
apart.
all the details.
Is this the
way
best
they report it makes you think they just kidnapped a 2-year-old girl and sent her off on her way, but really it was
Trump-appointed
her mother.
judge,
She went with her mother who was being deported.
A Trump-appointed, hand-picked judge is the one who told him that he's deeply concerned about this. This is not the left wing making a big deal out of this. It's your side, and you should really check your own people and criticize them so they stop doing whatever the fuck they want.
Well, Trump is trying to stay, so he's pushing the bounds. Yes, I mean it does worry some people, and I understand the concern. But he has shown how he's able to adapt. He's able to adjust when he takes things a little too far. Like he is reinstating a lot of these student visas. I don't know if you heard that. They've started reinstating tons of student visas that they revoked. The pause on the tariffs, like he has
pause
shown
on the tariff. He couldn't have sat down and fucking thought about this before he ruined our economy and dipped $7 trillion in the world market.
Well,
he
no,
sat down and thought about it.
Yeah, but you got to realize there's better trade deals being made. He did this exact strategy.
There's no better trade deal. If all trade had 0 tariffs from this day forward, we would still be looking at like 5 to 7 years to make up for this fucking dip that he made.
No, first of all, the stock market is. We're still like if you go back a year,
it's
like
not just
we're
the stock market.
That's what everyone's complaining about.
No. We're already
As
we're
soon,
looking at a
as
negative
soon as these new
3.7.
trade deals get announced, everything is going to bounce. Like the whales are sitting on the sidelines with their cash, and as soon as these deals are announced, everyone's going to pump their money right back in the market, and it's going to get right back to where it was.
No,
Like that.
nobody,
Yes.
even if he keeps these tariffs up, they're executive order tariffs. So nobody, first of all, knows if they're going to stay, if they're going to go. Everybody has a different opinion. He's never made that transparent. He's never told anybody his intentions with this. We
Well,
all
that's
just
his
give
strategy.
him.
He
No,
keeps his cards close to his
yeah,
chest.
okay. Well, that's you kissing his ass about him not telling
No,
anybody what his plan is. But
but
I
like,
just had somebody
why
up
should
here telling us that he was transparent and everybody knew what his plan was.
like these world leaders he's dealing with, they're killers. Like you can't have always the weakness of portraying like everything you're doing because they're watching what you're saying to your like he's doing things. He knows how the business how sharkish
We're
and
paying
predatory
for
the
the
world
leverage.
leaders are. And
We're paying the leverage that he's holding. He's wielding us as consumers as leverage and our well-being.
he's
That's what he's
leveraging for
doing.
better deals for us though.
Even if we all got better deals and other countries started buying our stuff for some God knows what reason, nobody can make sense of what he's doing. But if they all start doing free trade to the detriment of their own world like economies in their country, it still wouldn't be a better scenario. It's just a bunch of dumb ideas.
Well, hold on, because I mean, Warren Buffett, I consider him one of the greater financial minds that are still living, and he has even stated in open interviews, yeah, he's not a fan of Trump wielding the tariffs aggressively like this, but he has stated that he is also very concerned with how big our trade deficit. We don't have to make the trade deficit zero, but you can't let it get it out of hand because even in his own words, when you have a trade deficit that big, you're pretty much just handing these other countries investment checks, like China, who is trying to upgrade their military to
Yeah,
be
I
on
know,
par with
but
ours.
you don't make your own country's GDP dip while trying to fix the trade deficit. That's dumb. And also, a trade deficit is not inherently bad. And also, our money is worth more than almost every other world currency. So inherently, we are going to be buying stuff from other nations, and they're going to be buying less stuff from us. Because when we
Yes,
produce something, it costs more money to produce. And when they buy something, it costs other countries a lot of money. And when they look at us and then they look at China, China's stuff is a lot more cheaper, so they're going to buy it from China. They're not going to buy it from us. So it's a
yes, no,
very
I
dumb
agree.
fix. His tariff idea is a very dumb non-fix.
Well, hold on, because there is something that has changed in the past 10 years that is a very big at play, and it's exactly what he's doing. And we used to not be we were a huge importer of oil and gas. And over the past 10 years, under Trump in his first term, we became, for the first time, we were exporters of oil and gas, which means we exported more than we imported because we've become the number one producer of oil, of energy in the entire world.
We
Nobody
did that
used to
under
look.
Biden,
No, we did it under Trump. It started in
and even more
2019.
so under Biden.
Yeah, because everybody invested in the oil rigs take 5 to 10 years to get fully functional. So a lot of these investments were made under Trump. So like, I mean, the left would argue that like, yeah, he took down regulations. It's bad for the environment. I accept that. It's the trade-off of also being geopolitically strong because now we have the leverage to have these countries come and buy oil and gas from us instead of going to countries like Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and it allows us to sanction countries like Iran and stuff like that on the geopolitical scale, who we are producing natural gas mainly, which is cleaner than the oil and that Iran and Russia are making. So if you care about the environment, that's actually a positive for the environment.
Okay, still, Biden allowed and has able to make the United States a bigger domestic producer of oil, even with all of the regulations he put back in place. He was able to do that, and we're more energy independent. In 70 years under Biden, under Democrat rule, we did that, and now a lot of countries are looking at us and going, do we even want to fucking trade with the United States? Who would ever trust making a deal with Donald Trump after he made the USMCA with Canada and Mexico? And now he went back on it entirely. He went back on it, and he's also fucking over all of our allies, talking about invading Canada, Greenland, and Panama. Nobody wants to be nice with us. Nobody even wants to buy our defense stuff because of the way he's treating NATO and Ukraine. He is on the wrong side of all of these wars and all of these economic or trade wars. He's bullying our allies, and it's
Yeah,
it's
he
not
he
the
is
position we
being
want to take.
he is being very tough. But once these deals are made, I'm telling you, you just got to give it time because he
Nobody's
has
coming to the table. China hasn't even come to the table. They don't want
yeah
anything to
no
do with him.
no China, yeah, that's a completely different issue. But we're almost done with
It's the
deals with
biggest issue.
Japan, South Korea, India. India is going to be a big competitor to China as well.
China and South Korea and Japan are, for some reason, for the very first time in history, coming together and figuring out how to fuck us over royally together in concertation.
No. They're trying to figure out how they're going to play both sides because China and us, and they're trying to. These countries like us better than they do China, even with how Trump has changed. Because China has a lot of human rights violations. They have that very.
Do you mean like what Trump likes to do?
No,
We literally have travel warnings on
Trump's
our
gonna
country.
be gone in 4 years. Like,
do we? He just
Yes.
he just released 2028 hats on his
yes, because
website.
he's firing everybody up. Like, that's just the shit he does. I don't agree with it, but like,
Would you vote for him if he ran again in 4 years?
By writing a constitutional crisis, what are we doing?
no, I mean he's even said that there's ways to do it, but he's not really planning on doing
No,
it.
he's literally lying. What he's doing is he's priming you guys, and he's trying to
don't
make
think
sure that you
so.
guys think he's joking right now, and that he's going to be very serious. And this is what Bukele did. That Trump is probably going to pull a page out of his book. He's going to say that we're in a crisis. We're in a time of war. He might call like the Insurrection Act or call like what's it called militia, whatever. Bukele basically, to stay in power, has been funding T groups in his own country so that there's constant conflict, so that he can keep this like this reign of war power in place.
Oh yeah,
martial law.
And I just feel like it's important, real quick, to just remind our audience, there is no way he can do it. Like, that's just not not legal, not constitutional. Can't do it.
I agree.
Does it matter?
If he ran,
Because
Obama
he's
would have
doing
to run.
things-
Obama would kick his ass.
No, but he's doing things in a way that don't even coincide with the courts right now. So does it even matter that he can't break the law? Because he's openly breaking the law, and he's trying to figure out where the bounds are. What can he do without any repercussions? If he goes against the Supreme Court, who's to stop him? What are we doing now? Nothing? Nothing, right?
I mean, he's following things. The facility, the
No, he's
Kilmore
not.
Bridge. Yeah, for the most part, he is. Like he
has
Yeah,
immunity,
the
doesn't
only
he?
thing that's questionable right now is that facilitation of. So, and they're asking that to have it redefined. Like, I personally think that dude's probably gonna come home and then get deported again somewhere else. But I don't know.
It doesn't matter as long as he gets due process. If there's one type of person in this country that doesn't get due process, none of us have due process. Okay, because if that's the case, if there's a type of person that doesn't have due process, guess what? If the current government doesn't like somebody, they're going to say they're that type of person and kick them out of the country or jail them.
I hear you, but it's also like nobody talks about how Obama's 75% of his deportations didn't get any due process either. They
Yeah,
never
the
saw it done.
ACLU had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, but nobody, a lot of people were
Would
not
you
up
condemn
in
that?
arms
Would
about,
you
and
impeach
this is just
Obama?
one person.
Would you impeach Obama for doing that?
The ACLU said a lot about what Obama did, but they never raised charges against him. They never tried to take him to court. They are actively doing that against Trump. So while we can't say that, definitively everybody under the Obama administration got due process, it definitely wasn't as fucking problematic as it is right now.
Sure. I mean, and like
ACLU was some weird liberal organization. The ACLU has sided with Trump on multiple fucking occasions.
Dickless ran over here for that.
yes,
Thank you.
And, see, I haven't really been following what the ACLUs have been doing recently, but I do remember them having something to say about those deportations.
Just
and it's
because
just-
somebody else in history did something wrong doesn't make it okay for Trump to do the same thing and worse.
it's his intent is to get the cartels in fear of sending the F substance into America through citizens. Like he is the intent is to
I
protect
don't
American
care. I don't care if
citizens.
the intent is to find the cure
I mean,
to cancer. He can't break the law, and he can't cause us to. He can't turn us into a
I
fascist
mean,
state. I'm okay without it. Biden deported more people by the tune of 20,000 people per month, more than Trump. Biden did this better without breaking the law. Trump can just do that. He can
no,
just do
that's
that.
see, that's another misrepresented stat because that's counting the people that were turned away at the border, and Biden had 4 times as many people coming to the border to expel. So that's why his deportations numbers are higher because he had millions more people come to the
No,
border
we're
under
talking
him.
about interior deportations. Talking about interior, not exterior deportations.
Yeah, I'd like to see that number. That'd be interesting if true. If you have a source for that, I always like to see facts. I always like,
Trump deporting people at a slower rate than Biden's last year in office. Boom. Reuters. Love Reuters. U.S. President deported 37,000 people during his first month in office. Previously unpublished U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Last year, we didn't even have close to that many people coming to the border. Far less than the monthly average of 57,000 removals and returns the last year. Full Joe Biden's. The height
where does
of
it say that these are interior deportations?
Hold on. A senior Trump administration official said deportations were poised to rise in the coming months, and Trump's opened up new avenues to ramp up arrests and removals. DHS sports person, because I think what you're talking about is encountered and expedited removals. Those are not considered deportations. Trump campaigned for the White House, promising deport millions of immigrants to U.S. largest deportation in its history. Yet initial figures suggest Trump could struggle to match the higher deportation rates during the last full year of Biden. Large amount of migrants crossing illegally, making them easier to deport. Their acting director, U.S. Immigration's Custom Enforcement, Caleb
Yeah,
reassigned
exactly.
Friday.
That's proving my point right there. It says that Trump could struggle to match it because there's way more migrants approaching the border under Biden.
It's almost as if Biden didn't have an open border.
Yeah, because
It's almost as if he didn't have an open border, right?
He did have an open border though. Like it's the optics of what you say, and when he says.
So which one is it? Did he deport them at the border, or did he deport them when he was inside and not have an open border? And had an open border.
His gotaways are way more. Do you know what gotaways are?
Yeah, there was 1.5 million gotaways total. So how does this make up for that?
Trump had less than 500,000.
So we caught the gotaways. Is that
3 times
even better
more
for us?
under Biden? No, gotaways are ones that got away.
Yeah. So how does that account for this? If Biden expelled more people and there were more gotaways, doesn't that not help your case?
No, this all helps my case because Biden had more encounters in 1 year than Trump had all 4 years of his presidency. So these migrants were coming because they thought Biden would give them free asylum and it'd be easy to abuse the system to get into America for the better life.
If you think that's true, I would like to tell you about this time that Trump gave all Venezuelans temporary protective status. Do you think that would invite people over just like you said asylum would? Trump giving Venezuelans protective status 16 hours before he left office?
Yeah, that would help.
Maybe that's what he did.
Well, I don't think that's the main. It might have contributed a little bit, but I
do you
really
think Biden like muttering something like, what do you think Biden said to bring them in? Besides Fox News airing all day, every day that we have open borders.
How about on his Democratic presidential primary debate in 2019 when he said that if he becomes president, everybody should come. Anybody who needs asylum needs to come immediately and surge to the border. And then also
when they surge to the border and come immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, he did that. He said that. He said we need to surge to the border for these migrants who need asylum. Also, in that same debate, they asked all the presidents or the debaters if they agree that illegal immigrants should have health care. Biden raised his hand.
Yeah, they should have emergency health care.
They should have governmental health care.
No, they should have emergency health care.
Okay. Health insurance.
We don't have health insurance. So
yeah,
like
I know. I'll have to.
It wasn't a thing. Like, why are you lying up here? You're just lying.
I'm not lying. You can look at the debate. He says these things.
What they're alluding to?
I might be forgetting whether it was health insurance or what it was. But
what that question alludes to is what they did in Britain And what they were doing in Britain was because they have socialized healthcare in Britain, they were making doctors become border patrol agents or ICE agents, and basically they had to report whether or not one of their clients had citizenship or not. So like on their paperwork, on their intake forms, they'd have to fill out whether or not they were citizens, and then they would have to report that. That's why Biden says we do not need to differentiate people in the medical room by citizenship. Because doctors don't want to do that. They want to save lives. They want to help you. If your arm was like severed from your body, they want to be able to sew you up without asking you if you're eligible.
All right. Him getting in and completely stopping the border wall, like he just sent a lot of optics like that. Hey,
nobody's watching the news, bro. Nobody's watching the news when Biden mutters something like this, but everybody's watching the news. The biggest news channel on planet Earth, Fox, saying this every single day that there's open borders, even though Biden had stricter border than Trump.
See, I don't watch any legacy media, so I don't. I'm just on the internet. So I think people do watch the president of the United States. I think people are pretty informed, and like maybe not everybody watches it, but somebody watches it, and then they tell all their
hear
friends
from their
what,
friends
what the new president and what his policies are, and that like, hey, this is the best chance to come. I mean, that's why the second Trump became president, encounters went down 90%. Just now, and they're at the
reason
lowest
they went down is because he talked about
history right now.
Because he's sending them to prisons without due process. Did you know that's even stopping people from coming here on tourists like visits? We're dipping by 11% in tourism. That is fucking people up and fucking up the economy. That is a very dumb idea.
It's down 11%. That's not a good thing. I agree with you. But I think he's going to start softening up everything. It sounds like he's already
it takes a long time.
He's reinstating the student visas. He's walking things back. Like,
so he was wrong the way he handled it. It was too much.
He's somebody who does adjust. Like he makes halftime adjustments.
Does not. Oh my god.
What? He's already started to adjust.
Basically, what he's done was he's made a spectacle out of all this. He wants to look like the big tough man.
And
so
Apple
much
just
so that he breaks the law.
Apple just said that they're going to start making their iPhones in India now, who's an ally of us and who we're not don't have to be worried about like we are with China. Like he's had a plan through doing these things. Like he's getting things done, whether how much you don't like the rhetoric that he has. He is kind of an asshole. Like I admit,
completely ruined our relationship with China. We are screwed unless he drops all the tariffs.
I mean, that's going to be a whole situation, and that was going to be a major situation no matter if he did that or not, because they are coming for global dominance. They don't believe in Western democracy. They're just plotting they're going to invade Taiwan.
Maybe he should have thought about that before he fucking enabled Russia to go do what they're doing to Ukraine, and taught China that, hey, we're not going to let you do that to Taiwan. But instead, y'all are chanting America first, and China knows that they're not going to be stopped invading Taiwan. They just
Trump's pressuring Ukraine into a deal because this war has been going on since pretty much 2014 because of when they took Crimea. Like this has been a big deal. Obama didn't give Ukraine any weapons to defend themselves.
Yeah, because the leader was pro-Russian.
No, but he got ousted during Obama still.
Yeah.
And he still didn't give weapons to the Democratic president that was elected. And then they came in and took Crimea without a shot fired. And then they
overtook Crimea with
attacked again under Biden because he wasn't going to do that under Trump.
Whatever. They're lining up the border of Lithuania right now. They know that they can do whatever they want with Trump in office. Don't even try.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does seem that Trump is more on the side of Ukraine signing a deal and giving us rare mineral rights.
He's being a bully to Ukraine. Nobody thinks he's on the side of Ukraine.
Well, what Ukraine thinks they're just going to take Crimea back and like potentially cause this bigger escalation of this war. Or they can
just take over the land that they lost since 2022. Maybe they could just take that back. Maybe we could tell Russia to get the fuck out of Ukraine.
I mean, those borders, that's for history, that has been the Russian Empire. They lost a little bit under
You're
Biden.
a Putin apologist, bro.
No, it's just like you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like, you guys think you're going to take back Crimea through military force? Like, that's going to be a huge fucking deal, an escalation.
You're moving the bar here. Nobody talked about Crimea. Nobody's talking
Yeah,
about
but
Crimea.
that's what Ukraine wants. That's what Zelensky wants.
Yeah, Trump is basically doing everything he can to make sure that the world in the West, like you just claimed, China is not favorable to the West. All of these countries know that we are not favorable to the West now. They're looking at us as the bad guys.
No,
because of the way Trump has positioned us.
That's an over exaggeration.
No, it's not. They are literally doing talks within NATO saying, hey, US, what are you guys doing? We're not even going to buy weapons from you because we consider you not an ally right now.
I mean,
they did their whole 5-year plan.
The Secretary General of NATO has praised Trump publicly. I mean, obviously before this, for putting pressure on NATO to raise their defense budgets, and it went from 4 countries in NATO meeting their defense budget goals to 10 countries under Trump, and added 15. Is there 15 or 100? Several billion dollars of defense spending.
Do you mean when Russia, after Russia's invaded its neighbor, they did that? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was during Trump's first term.
Oh, after he said he encourages Russia to do whatever the hell they want if they don't pay their bills?
I'm telling you that he has strengthened NATO beyond belief.
Yeah, without us. They don't even... Trump has talked shit about NATO even on the debate stage with Hillary. He said NATO was the worst mistake ever.
Well, because they depend on us for their freedom, and it's been 80 years since World War II. Like, they have the money to do it. They just decide they're going to let Big
Trump
Brother...
has been damning NATO for a long time, and the reason that they're stockpiling their defense is because they think that we're going to turn against them and that we're going to leave.
Like Europe is like Jack Doherty, and like we're the big bodyguard that protects them. Like that's how it's kind of been for several years. So like when Trump came in, even the Secretary General was very praising of Trump because he strengthened NATO as a whole.
Okay, don't fucking break your arm jerking that guy off for saying something nice about Trump, because very few people do have anything nice to say about him. Very few people. No world leaders want anything to do with him besides the dictators.
Because he's tough. He's a tough guy.
He's
and
not tough. He's reckless.
A little bit, yeah, but he kind of plays that so like people don't know how he'll react, and I think he does that on purpose, and that's why people don't do crazy stuff while he's under watch, because they're like, we don't know. That's why people don't come across the border.
God forbid he sends out a mean tweet,
like
because that's all he's done so far.
Effect.
All he's done is send out a mean tweet. He told Putin to stop in all caps. That's it. That's all he's done.
I mean, we'll see. That sounds like the deal is getting close, very close, especially with that powerful picture in the St. Peter's Basilica.
I don't think so. I think Biden being able to rally 50 countries to go back up Ukraine when he was president, and having them all write letters on his way out saying what a great president he was, I think that's a little different than having some NATO dude say that he was good.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just depends if, there's a lot of, kind of depends what side of the political spectrum you are. But the main thing, I feel like the left can come back, bro. Like, they just gotta stop resorting to like the MAGA insulting, attacking level that a lot of the people on the crazy alt-right do. Like, if you would have just read the headlines these past few days, you would have read like Trump is in the 3rd row. What a big blow to his ego. How he won't be able to take it. And like, that wasn't even true. And then you
act like that's an exaggeration, but he was up at 1 a.m. after he crashed the economy complaining about how one of his pictures in the fucking Colorado State Capitol didn't look good.
What I'm saying is that like it wasn't true, because I saw he was in the 1st row. And then they said, "Oh, look at him! He wore a blue suit. What a piece of shit asshole! It's so ignorant." But they specifically took a photo of very few people around him that were wearing black. But if you zoomed out, there was tons of people wearing blue suits and tons of people
Look how tied up. I didn't even read after that headline. I thought it was stupid. And for you to go find his defense,
that's what people read.
You care about that stuff.
And they're like, why? Why are these people just always lying about this dude?
Always
so
lying?
Desperate to make him look bad.
Trump is constantly talking about and worried about his image. He paints his face fucking orange every day, and it's weird.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I feel like you have to address the fact that he and JD Vance were poking fun at Zelensky for not wearing proper attire at the Oval Office. I mean, this is not the left creating these media stimulations. Like, this is just the media and how it works. I don't understand why you're blaming the left entirely.
No, I'm not trying to blame the left entirely, but I'm trying to show you guys like why I think this last election went right. And because like I feel like I'm somebody who's in the center a lot of the time, but I have recently moved center right these past 8
Doug,
years.
nobody is looking at the actions Trump has taken in recent 100 days and said that's good. Nobody with a with a straight face can tell me anything he's done is good. Period.
No, it looks like he's restructuring trade deals, and yeah, it's a 2 steps backward, first 1 step backward, 2 steps forward type of thing, in my opinion. You just have to let it.
It doesn't look calculated at all.
It looks like he's trying to bring change with how we deal with other countries through trade.
You know what else has changed? Lighting everything on fire. That's the same.
He's trying to sell our energy to reduce these trade deficits, so we are a more prosperous country overall.
Reducing trade deficits is dumb. I can't believe he convinced you guys that trade deficits were bad.
Warren Buffett disagrees with you. It's gotten out of control. Our trade deficit is absolutely out of control.
We're a consumer country. Do you want us to be poor?
Yeah, no, we have energy that we can sell and reduce these trade deficits, though, and we can.
Dude, we consume.
We need to
we consume 20 million barrels a day of oil, and we only produce 13.4. What do we gonna sell?
We don't want to be giving. Warren Buffett even said that, like, when you have a trade deficit like this, like, you're pretty much handing that country an investment check, and that's what we've been doing to China to the tune of.
Can you even explain that?
Hundreds of billions of dollars all the time. So we need to diversify our supply chains to places that aren't China, places that don't want to invade
Tariffs are not going
Taiwan.
to fix that. It's dumb. A trade deal is not going to fix that. What do you think is going to happen?
Because we're making trade deals.
What trade deal is going to fix a trade deficit? Tell me, man.
Yeah, because these countries are going to make deals to buy more energy from us. Like liquefied, that's our number one export right now is
liquefied gas?
Energy. Liquefied natural gas, crude oil, all of it.
No, we can't sell enough crude oil to change our trade deficit with any other countries. Sorry. Not
liquefied natural gas
we buy
as well.
So
We're
much...
the number one exporter of it.
Okay, we buy a ton of our oil from Canada, and then we refine it and we sell it for 3 times more. But we don't have enough to change our trade deficit with a bunch of other countries. They can buy oil from whoever they want.
Yeah, hey, Ryan, I got a question. How are we going to lower our trade deficit with Myanmar?
Well, no, I mean...
No. How are we going to lower our trade deficit with Myanmar?
Or McDonald Island.
Yeah, no, Myanmar specifically. Do you know what we buy from, or do you know what we import from Myanmar?
No, I don't.
Diamonds. That's like our main import from Myanmar. Myanmar's GDP is incredibly small. So, like, how are we going to reduce that trade deficit?
I don't think these are aimed at countries like Myanmar.
How are we going to reduce that trade deficit, Ryan?
We might not.
We're not going to.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
This is such a dumb talking point. Like all you've only gotten this far. Trump's gonna make a deal. That's it. You stop thinking. That's it.
No, because these deals are happening as we speak.
These deals are not happening.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. There's no good deal that's going to help you.
In the next 2 months that these deals are going to start getting announced, and every time a deal gets announced, the stock market's going to jump. I promise you.
Okay,
Like the deals that we're making, like when Netanyahu came into the White House, he even said it. He said that we're making a deal. Netanyahu said we're going to be starting to buy more energy from America because liquefied natural gas is a new technology and is what has made us the number one energy exporter in the world because it's fracking, it's shale oil. It's called the shale technology boom. It's a completely new technology in the energy world, and we're the best at it. And the thing about it is that you can ramp up the production of it very quickly. So if we make a deal to sell way more, that's just complete profit because we can ramp up.
Good stuff. Are you going to make that money?
Production of it. What?
Are you going to make that money?
Yeah, we are as a country, and that's going to create more jobs. The more natural gas deals that we make.
Hydraulic fracking has been around since the 1860s. I just want to point that out.
No, the shale oil is how they turn it into. It's a new thing and we've become the best at it, and it's only in the past 10 years that we have. And I mean, it's cleaner than oil. So if you actually care about the environment, So getting these countries to stop buying oil from Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and buy cleaner energy from us is actually helping the environment overall as well. It's just something to look into. Like, I know
Yeah,
that
I don't think this is going to trade our trade deficit, maybe with more than like 5 countries. I don't think
I
it's going
think
to
it
do
is.
anything more. And China
And
is
our
definitely
trade
not going to
deficit
be
with China has
changing
gotten out
anything.
of hand under
We're
every
never
president,
going
except
to
they
change
went.
that.
Our trade deficit went down under Trump's first term. As the first president that has ever happened in the past like 50 years.
Yeah, maybe because oh my God, because they stopped buying from us. Like they fucked us up
That would
so
make their
bad.
trade deficit go up.
There were 3 rounds of trade wars that he did with him, and every turn we got fucked real bad. We lost 147,000 jobs, and we lost like 0.4% GDP, and we also lost
A lot of that was COVID.
No. This is from the independent numbers from COVID.
So he also opened up their markets for our farmers to be able to sell poultry, beef, and a lot of things that we were completely blocked from buying. He also made them the #1 soybean buyer and raised the price of soybeans for our farmers so that they could sell into China, and it raised the demand of soybeans. So it raised the price.
They put tariffs on soybeans after we put tariffs on them. They counter tariff soybeans and put so many farms out of business. We had to bail them out to the tune of $28 billion.
$29 billion. Yeah, he made, because he knew that was his trade deal and that was the repercussions of it. And he bailed them out as he should. Like my dad, we sell soybeans on our farm. So we got a check to make up the difference of what we would have made if China had never done that. So like these are long-term deals. That was a cost that he had to do, but that's fine because our exports in 2020 after the phase 1 deal were the highest they've ever been for agricultural exports. And they're also making more money off each export because the prices went up because of the higher demand. But I do got to get going, brother. I appreciate the conversation. I just wanted to let you know that like we're not all crazy over here on this, the right side. And
Beautiful.
yeah, for sure. All right, cheers, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Yellow, are you a Trump supporter? Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
All right,
Yellow?
just give me a second. Just give me a second here, Pickles. Calm down, okay?
What's
Please
up?
relax. I gotta put something on. Hold on, it just came. I didn't know you were gonna bring me up so quickly. Hold on. Everybody relax. Everybody calm down.
You need to be more prepared, Andrew.
I know. I really do. I really do. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, I've got my Carhartt hat on.
Oh
Rocking
shit.
it. We've got the glasses on. And then, ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go!
go on, get t-shirt. Let's go.
Let's go!
Get it in the pickle shop right now.
Andrew, let's go, dude. I love it. Hold on. I'm making you big screen, dude.
I'm in
Guys.
Carhartt cosplay here. Go on, get
Bro.
It's like looking into your future, Pickles.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I could only be so lucky, dude.
I think he's younger. I think I'm 38, so it's guys, I've aged a lot. The film industry quite ages you, I think.
Those were not my words, Andrew. I thought you looked like a sweet summer child of 23.
No, I know. That's okay. Thank you, Pickles.
23 beast.
Little.
Oh my.
Dude, chat.
Guys, get it in the pickles shop. Let's go.
Let's go, chat. Those are in my link tree in my profile, guys. In my bio, click on my link tree. It's like the second or third item that you can click on. I think they're not expensive. They're like $25.
Yeah, it's like $25.
Yeah,
easy peasy.
Get you one, chat.
Easiest click for $25 I've ever made.
Let's go, chat. I love it.
Go on, get.
Fuck
Go
yeah.
on, get. You tell them. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, go on, get. I love that, dude. I love it. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 100K real quick. We're almost there. You guys are really slacking. If you enjoy these debates, don't forget to give me a follow. My name is Pickles, and I crush ass on TikTok daily.
Yeah, my name is not Pickles, but I also crush ass.
Do I still play PUBG? I don't. I don't. Spitter crushing.
Okay, so I realized I don't know what is crushing ass. What does that mean?
I'm Bob Barker. Spam
Oh my
into your
God.
pets.
God damn it.
Tickless knows what crush ass means.
I asked him. This is a genuine question. We have time. This is MAGA stupidity hour. What does crushing ass refer to? Is it like sounding?
When a man and woman love each other physically.
Oh my
outside
God.
of a bar.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Tickless. What's up, Wonder Bread?
What's up, man? You could call me Bretta.
Bretta, are you a Trump supporter?
I voted for Trump with both my hands, my entire chest, and if I could have used the foot, I would have.
Oh man, what do you like about Trump?
I like the drilling, the tax cuts, the tariffs overall, really, the immigration, the deportations, every EO he signed, Doge.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Got a lot of cover.
Where you want to start?
Let's talk about the tariffs. Why do you think tariffs are good, bro?
I believe they bring in revenue into our nation. They stop the nations from abusing our imports with unfair trading practices. They incentivize domestic production. They're not their main objective, and they're a great negotiating tool for anything else that we may need.
Okay, so here's the problem. Tariffs also disincentivize trade. So we're going to see our GDP dip by 3.7%. That's what the Atlanta Fed projects us to do under these tariffs. And we're going to see bare shelves by the end of the month. That's not just speculation. That's just math, bro.
It's not math. None of the reports that we have recently come out, any of the 2 CPI reports, the 2 PPI reports, any of the job labor reports signal an upcoming recession.
None of the job labor reports?
We only had, right now, what we had, the April 4th one, that showed that March had an increase. Now, we did have like a little dip in a little height in unemployment by maybe like a fractional percentage, but it's not enough to substantiate the speculatory claims that our nation is about to go into some type of recession. No, yes,
you won't be seeing CPI or PPI increase until the end of next month when people run out of their inventory and have to re-up from China. China's not even shipping small parcels right now, and they are not going to be letting down on their tariffs. So whatever we do have to purchase from China, it's going to have that 200% tariff on it. And we're already seeing videos of farmers and major producers going, hey, I have stuff sitting on a ship on a port right now that I cannot receive, and it's collecting duties every single day. And until I pay the tariff, I still have to pay the late fees, and I still have to pay the tariff when I'm done paying the late fees. So these businesses are about to go under. They're about to go under. There's people that have like a $30,000 monthly fee to buy their goods from China, and it's more like $300,000 right now.
Okay, so what Trump implemented on China is called an out-of-quota tariff. It's that one. It's literally supposed to block trade. Now, at the end of the day, we're a free market, quote unquote, so we can't actually physically stop an importer from buying from another nation. What we can do is set an out-of-quota tariff, meaning a tariff so expensive that it completely blocks you from buying from them, first and foremost. So all of that, oh, their duties are right. Go and diversify your partners. Second of all, China can't just afford to stop trade with America and think that it's solely going to hurt America. There are a lot of industries over there that are codependent.
That's not what an out-of-quota tariff is. An out-of-quota tariff is when an incredibly high tariff is levied on a good after a certain quota of that good has been reached.
Yeah,
that's
but it
what
can be
an
an
out-of-quota tariff
from the
is.
beginning.
You are
That says an
making
out-of-quota
stuff
tariff
up.
can't be from. You're right, but
You're making stuff up now.
Excuse me. There's nothing that says that an out-of-quota tariff has a limit of quantity.
That's okay. What does quota mean? What does quota mean? What is a quota?
A quota is a minimum or a height of any expectation?
A quota is a certain threshold you have to meet, right?
Threshold.
So
That's
an
the word.
out of quota
Yeah.
tariff,
Yeah.
the definition of an out of quota tariff is when an extremely high tariff is levied against a good after a quota has been reached.
Right.
Not we're going to slap an incredibly high tariff across the board on multiple
Title 19
countries.
hold on,
I don't
show
know
me that
why
in
you're
Title-
talking.
Hold on.
Like, I'm literally in the middle of explaining this to you. An out of quota
You're not
tariff,
explaining anything. I
you're
just
wrong.
think of
You
the
don't
word
know what you're talking
threshold.
about.
No, let me finish
Yeah.
talking because you cut me off.
You're wrong.
All right, you cut me off. Show me in Title 19 of U.S. Code. Show me in any trade acts that an out of quota tariff has a minimum or maximum threshold that has to be in place. You're using the example of Canada's dairy market.
Quota
Excuse me.
has
You're
been
using-
reached.
Excuse me. You're using the example of, in your mind, the Canada dairy sector that has a limit of dairy products that have to be exported.
Both y'all pause. Yes, that is an out of quota tariff. It's a higher tariff rate applied to imported goods after a certain limit. So your explanation, your first explanation was 1,000% wrong, and everyone was dumber having heard it.
No. Show me that. Where are you reading that from? That an out of quota tariff is. Don't Google AI me. I told you.
I'm so sorry it's happening to you, friend.
Code,
sorry.
Title 19 of U.S. Code. Show me anything in the Trade Act of 74, Trade Expansion of 62 that says that that's the definition.
No,
Don't
I'm just
Google
gonna
AI.
use Google.
All right, yeah, whatever, bro. There was something else that you said that was completely. What did you say at the beginning?
I don't know, but here's where I'm going. There are items that you cannot get anywhere else that are made in China, and if
Like
you
what?
do, they're going to be more expensive.
Like what?
Computer chips.
That's Taiwan, and they're moving to America.
No, Taiwan makes a bunch. So does China.
Yeah, but we're not codependent on China for the chips.
Okay, okay. There are plenty of things that we do get from China. I'm so sorry, but there are. There are plenty of things.
What?
I don't know.
GG.
I don't know.
What?
Plastic goods, and what you're doing is if some other country wants to go ahead and produce that product and compete with China, including us, it's going to be years before they do it. It's going to be years.
And by the way, there's a de minimis rule at $800, so it's out of quota after $800. Go ahead.
It's going to be
No,
years.
yeah, go ahead. Your out of quota tariff definition just got washed.
What do you mean?
There's a de minimis rule that $800 doesn't get tariffed. Anything under, so that means that anything over $800 is tariffed at 145%. That's an out of quota.
Exactly. And what you were saying, you explained out of quota tariffs as being something that the tariff was so high. You were saying the tariff was so high that nobody would buy it from that country, which is actually false. Which we've all argued is nowhere near that definition.
Yeah. So it is 100% that definition because it's supposed to decentivize that country's trade.
Not. You're lying. You're really stretching here, bud. You want to have an actual conversation in good faith?
I am having a conversation in good faith.
You look like you're getting toasted, bud.
I'm getting toasted.
Yes. You're dying on a weird hill.
I'm not. You could say the D word on your thing. I'm not dying on a weird hill.
You are.
At all. Okay. You didn't engage in any of my talking points. I said it incentivizes domestic production. It brings in.
It does not. Nobody wants to start producing or investing in anything here behind tariffs that were made with an executive order. Nobody's going to build a house of cards behind 300% tariffs that were made with an executive order by one person who's played Go Away, Come Here with him 4 times now.
Go away what?
Go away, meaning he's put them up and pulled them down, put them up, put them down. No one wants to do that. There's so much uncertainty in the market. Nobody wants to do that.
China has had 10% since February 1st, and the Canada, Mexico ones were pushed back to March 4th because we have a compassionate president, and don't smirk, I meant it, right? And then China's tariffs were raised to 20% March 4th. He didn't take them off, put them on, take them off, put it on. And then the reciprocal tariffs were in place April 2nd with the automotive sector. Now, I don't deny the automotive sector is about to go crazy because of the tariffs. Let's not go there. I give you that. We know that. That can't be denied. The automotive sector is about to go. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that the tariffs were inherently inflationary. So, oh yeah, now that brings me back. So you said that there's a supply that has been bought, and then when this supply runs out, the next supply is going to be tariffs. We're going to see the inflation then. But that's not how
Yes.
inherent inflation works. The expectation of added costs raises the cost now, no
You're
matter
talking
if
about
they're
futures, and that's not
No,
that's not how all
I'm
markets
not
work.
talking about futures. I'm talking. This is what happened in the automotive sector. You're trying to pivot away from the fact that you guys were singing the song that they were inherently inflationary.
They are.
From the rip, and now y'all saying no.
When
You're
you
moving
put
the
a tax on something, you're adding to how much it costs, right?
Yeah, but that's going to be passed on to the exporter.
No.
Yes.
The exporter, really? Is that what Trump's
Yes.
told it to you so many times you start to believe it?
No. This is me reading Title 19. This is me reading throughout Economist. This is me understanding how
Title 19 is going to tell. How is
Title 19 of
Trump going to
US
impose
Code-
a law on a foreign country? Tell me.
No. Title 19 of U.S. Code tells you that not everything is going to be tariffed at the rate that the nation's export was announced. Meaning if 25% was announced on Canada, that doesn't mean that all the commodity from Canada is going to get tariffed at 25%. The rates and the duty are going to vary depending on the commodity's value, ad valorem. Okay, so when you're talking about 25%, we're going to see maybe 2 to 10% on each of the commodity that can easily be negotiated with the exporter, because at the end of the day, we're the customer. And the same thing we're going to do for the public that is buying from us, they're going to do for us. At the end of the day, we're the biggest
Okay, the tariffs are a tax on imported goods.
I
So
understand
if you
that.
think that you could pass that on to an exporter, you've got another thing coming. Okay,
Well,
yes, they're
listen.
going to play with numbers to make sure that their sales don't drop and that
There we
their
go, a
revenue
little
doesn't
concession
drop.
from you. A
But
little
this
concession.
is going to slow down trade and slow down the economy. Period. And
No, it's
people
not.
are going to lose their jobs.
Speculation and fear mongering.
No, any tax in between two trading people, it does slow down the trade. Period. If it's just 1%, why do you think people do that? To protect markets.
But that's not detrimental to America's supply chain, and it's not detrimental to our economy in any way.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
We,
Yes,
we
that's speculation.
literally have all the economists on Earth saying otherwise, besides Trump's two lackeys.
But all the economists on Earth were saying that the tariffs on our 3 biggest trading partners were inherently inflationary, and still we see 2 CPI reports without the inflation that they were singing about.
Before they re-up on their
Yeah, but that's not what
goods.
inherently inflationary means. That's not what y'all was saying. Y'all wasn't saying that the stock market was good. Y'all wasn't saying
I'm
that.
not talking about the stock market.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's the left's general narrative, Pickles. Stop trying to obfuscate. You know that for a year, y'all was saying that the trading partners on our tariffs on our 3 biggest trading partners was going to cripple us because we're codependent on our allies. And I told y'all for a long time, no. Now we're seeing that the CPI reports, PPI reports, and intermediate charts of inputs showing that there's no inflation. Hold up, Pickles.
You're
pull out-
celebrating too soon. We have all of these retailers are
that's not what
crying. Right? They're
inherently
shouting from the
inflationary
rooftops.
That's not what inherently inflationary means, right? Inherently inflationary means that I was saying they're not inherently inflationary. Can they cause inflation? Of course, everything can cause inflation. Regulation, taxes, everything, right? But they're not inherently inflationary.
You're making up excuses, bud. Okay, this is what
This
it means. The
what is
trade
this?
wars wave of retail shortages will hit the U.S.
That is
consumers
a
in
tertiary
stages.
source that doesn't
Here's when.
substantiate your claim with that.
I'm
Give me a
so
government
sorry.
source.
No,
I'm
we're
talking
gonna
about
read this.
CPI, PPI chart, and you're over here talking about.
You're sitting here looking at today's prices, and this is telling you don't look at today's prices. Look at what's coming.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see,
This is
because
what's
when
coming.
the first one came out, you know what they said? Oh, we only had 10% on China. The second one came out where we had 20 on China and 25 on Mexico and Canada. Oh no, we gotta wait another month because the reciprocal ones are coming. You guys are weird, and you're
We're
fear-mongering.
weird for doing math.
You're an America hater, so no matter what, America's gonna be bent
America
over a
hater,
pound for people
dude.
like you.
Trump.
Yeah, white people
Trump
Harris
stood
in
on
America.
stage. Trump stood on stage and told you guys that we're becoming a third world country, and without him, nobody else will be able to fix this. And this is what
That's
you
a
guys
fact.
doing. You drank that
That's
Kool-Aid,
a fact.
and you think that
Jesus Christ
this
chose-
is this.
Yes.
Is Christ chosen?
Christ chose Trump to save America
You
from
realize
devils.
why we make the allegations now, right?
I wish I could turn my camera on. This is like a new account. I wish I could, so I could show you how serious I am, Pickles. I'm not trolling you.
I know how serious you are, and that's
My name is
what's
Bretta,
concerning.
bro. Ask about me. I'm dead serious, bro.
Believe me. Believe
Okay.
me, I know you're serious.
trolling you.
And
Okay.
I'm genuinely reaching out to folks like you and helping you understand that you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Nigga, I saved your life. How you reaching out to me?
You saved my life. You're telling me
Yes.
to not read the receipts that,
No, let
that are
me
in
ask
front
you
of me right
something.
now.
Let me ask you something, big dog. What was Kamala's plan for taxes? If she gave $50,000 tax cuts, was she going to get rid of amortization, or was there a minimum loan that you would get to qualify for the tax cut, or were the cost of the first year passed on to the second year?
I'm so sorry. I need to know how you saved Pickle's life. I'm not going to be able to let
He
it go.
says by voting for Trump.
I saved your life too, Kristen.
Hey,
No, thank
because I
you.
love you.
I lost
you
my
asked
right,
me-
so thank you.
You asked me a
didn't lose your
question.
right. You just mad you can't kill a baby.
Okay.
You asked me a question. This is how she was going to do it. You see all these red bars in this graph? This graph,
Yo,
that's
with
Trump.
The colorful bars, bro. What are you showing me? Tell me what she's gonna do, dog.
I'm showing you data. This is what Trump is going to do to
me
our
a
deficit.
colorful chart by like Washington Post.
You're fucking crashing out. This is
crashing, Pickles. This is my brand.
Okay. This is what Trump is going to do to our deficit. Explode it. That's the only thing he knows how to do. He explodes our deficit like an idiot. And Kamala's tax plan was supposed to reduce our deficit. You see how it lowers at the end? You see how it goes up?
What was the plan to facilitate such results? Don't show me a colorful graph that you could pull up with crayons. Explain to me what the plan was.
The only thing I can do is show y'all shit with crayons, dude. You guys don't understand anything else.
Show colorful pictures. You can't actually substantiate your claims by interpreting the primary sources correctly and regurgitating them to teach me something.
Okay.
You
want to know how she was going to change the tax brackets, bracket by bracket?
Yeah, what was she going to do to the tax code? How were people? What she going to get rid of?
She was going to do this. She was going to reduce the lower incomes taxes. She was going to reduce the income reduce the taxes of lower income people like me, and increase the taxes of rich people. That's what she was going to do.
Bro, don't do that. I'm also average. I'm also a regular guy. I'm also not rich. Okay, so you and I are the same. What I'm trying to tell you is that Trump's tax plan is actually more for the working people than Kamala's was. Because at the end of the day, shrinking and stifling the people that have the burden of responsibility to employ the nation would eventually hurt the workforce. And you know this.
You're lying. You're lying.
I'm lying?
Yes.
Bro, supply side economics is the only thing that works.
There's no data that supports supply side economics.
We have 2 terms of Reagan's successful presidential career.
I'm fairly sure that Pickles was Christ chosen to show you the right information at this point, Bretta. This is ridiculous.
Hold on, Kristen. Hold on. I can't hear you. Hold on. We have 2 terms of...
We have 50 years of data to show that you're just wrong.
We have Reagan, who actually blew up the GDP his first term, right? Yes or no? I'm lying? Do you have a colorful...
Let's talk about this in theory. Let's talk about this in actual theory, okay?
In theory or in action? Because you said we didn't have examples, Pickles.
Hold on. Hold your horses. I want to talk about this. Let's talk about this. You ever own a business?
I did.
You did? What kind of business?
I had 2. I had a truck business from 2016 to 2020. Then I had a short-term rental that Biden killed with the variations of Omicron and Super Delta COVID.
Okay, let's go with something easy. Let's say I'm a shirt business, and I have 5 people working for me, and my revenue is $200,000. My liability is $100,000. I'll just draw it for you. How about that?
You the man with the crayons.
Let's do this. All right, I'm a business. I sell shirts. Here's a fucking shirt, just so that we know what I'm talking about. Okay, here's a fucking shirt, bro.
I hate white boots for Harris.
All right, here's a bar graph of all the money we're gonna make this year. Okay, and here's the materials. Here's the labor. Okay, and here's all the profit. This is my juicy, girthy fucking profit, dude. I love it. This is all my profit, and then here's my tax liability. Let's say it's fucking 21%, like Trump wants, or I mean, like we have right now. It's 21%, and let's say I wanted to go hire 5 more people. I wanted to double this. Okay, let's do that, and I want to do another one of these too. And we'll say it's a 50-50 split. Now, if I said, hey, my tax bill this year is going to be 50 grand. Well, actually, it's probably 21 grand. What's 21% of 50,000? Whatever. It's whatever that is, okay? it's going to be whatever, $10,000. If I didn't want to pay this, if I didn't want to pay this tax bill, and you're saying that Trump is going to give people a tax cut so they don't have to pay that so they can hire people, I say you're lying, because you could literally just take this
You drew all
and
that
put
to
it
speculate?
and put it right here.
You
could
did
put
all
it-
that drawing to speculate, Pickles?
No, I'm showing you the math. I'm showing you the math. Okay?
All right, math
You
it
can
up, bro.
literally just do this and fill and make your profit zero. You can make your profit zero, and you would have zero tax liability. Zero. So if you really wanted to hire all these people with all of the money in the world, there's no taxes stopping you from doing that. Taxes do not stop you from hiring people. Hiring people is tax reducible. Okay? That's why I say you're a fucking liar when you say tax burdens stop people from giving people jobs. Period.
It stops people from expanding at the same rate. It is
False.
absolutely true.
False.
No.
If you want to invest in your own business, that's tax reducible, 100%.
This guy's this.
Tell me how it's not. Tell me how it's not. What
It's
item
literally
in
all
expanding a business is not tax reducible? Tell me. I'm waiting.
Say it again. Say it again.
What thing can you buy as a business that is for expansion that's not tax reducible? Go ahead and tell me.
Everything is tax deductible. But
Go
what
ahead.
I'm trying to tell you is that there are different stiflings. So if it's tax deductible, there are things that can allow you to expand more. My question to you, with the tax cuts are one thing. My tax was, what was the tax plan for Kamala? Because I saved your life. Her plans destroyed America. Trump's plans helped America flourish.
Destroyed America?
Bro, what was the plan with the tax? What was the
She
plan with
had
the
it spelled out. I don't know what to tell you.
Did it? So what was she gonna do with amortization? What was gonna happen?
What do with what?
Amortization.
I don't know what that is.
How you up here 24 hours 7? You don't know what amortization is?
I don't think anybody knows what that is.
That's $5,000. That's $5,000. That's writing off $5,000 every single year until writing off the capital of the business. This is how tax works. This is the tax code now. So what she was saying is that we're just gonna bring $50,000. You're just gonna literally write it off the first year, right? So what was gonna happen with amortization? So you don't get to write off anything for 5 years. You just get to write off a couple $100 until maybe in 5 years you qualify for $50,000 again.
No.
Well, what was the plan? That's what I'm asking.
The $50,000 standard deduction. People call it standard deductions.
What was okay? Standard deduction was the total 50,000. Meaning, what were you going to do? So okay, so you're telling me you could write off 50,000, and then after that you could write off $5,000?
I guess so. How much is it for Trump? 10?
Guess so. Trump kept amortization.
He came in what?
He kept amortization.
Isn't that supposed to be for loans?
It's just paying off the value of a loan, dude. That's all amortization is. It's amortization, not amortization. It's amortization.
So how do you get, excuse me, how do people get, yo, are you crazy? Do you not get a loan for your business?
Bruh.
Oh, God.
Do you
You're
not
talking
get a
about
loan
loans this
for
whole
your
time?
business?
You're talking about taxes and now it's about loans?
But you get a loan for your business.
But we were talking about tax credits.
Yo, you guys are ridiculous.
We're talking about Kamala's tax
people
plan?
So people go into business with their own money, 100%? Or do they use their money for leverage for a bigger loan to go into business?
Okay, so you want
Answer that question, because you guys are being real cynical about basics.
They do.
All right,
You can take a loan out for a business, and guess what? Kamala was going to give you huge standard deductions as a new business, and you could pay off your loans as much as you want with that.
The first year. And then what about the second year?
I don't know.
You don't know because y'all didn't know. Y'all voted on feelings, Pickles.
Dog,
y'all voted
what was Trump's plan for that?
Taxes? What do you mean?
Yeah, what was Trump was going to raise your taxes.
No, he's not. He's
yes,
gonna.
he is. You make under $360,000.
Yeah, I'm an average dude.
Yeah, you're going to pay more in taxes because of Trump, especially with the tariffs.
No, the tariffs are not inherently inflationary, and they're not going to be passed on to the consumer. I already shut you down on that.
That's a huge cope. You haven't shut anyone down on that. You just said that they don't.
They literally don't, because at the end of the day, you are the guy, you are the one speaking in generality saying, oh, hundreds of importers in America are automatically going to pass off the cost to the consumer.
Of course they are.
No, that's ridiculous. You don't know how hundreds of different of exporters are going to do business with hundreds of different of importers. For you to say that is disingenuous.
Now, I literally don't have to. I don't have to know anything to know that we're going to see an increase in prices on 100% of all items from China. Period.
Y'all said that. Y'all said that about the tariffs on the three biggest partners. We still don't see it on the CPI chart. You say you got to give it more time.
Yeah,
I think
it's
you're
coming in stages. Yeah.
I think you're a liar. That's not how inflation
It's right here. It's right here.
Do you have a government source?
So
Do you
like
know a
here's
government website, bro?
Yeah.
Government website.
Yeah,
You got CNBC up here.
Stop muddying the waters. The second I show you guys government websites, you say that you don't trust those either. So stop it.
Who said that? You ever met me before? I never met you before.
I do this all day. So don't pretend like I don't do this all day.
I do this all day too. I do
doubt
this
it.
all day too. You doubt it?
Yeah, I do.
No, I literally do this all day, bro. My name is Bretta, bro. I do this all day.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is what this is saying. China exports by 100 top 100 shipping companies, and you see how it's down. You see how it's down. Apparel and footwear are one key consumer product to watch in 2024. Imports from China account for 37% of all U.S.
Can
imports.
I switch accounts so I can go on camera?
Sure.
I'll be back.
Chat, tap the screen. How are we only at 130K likes, guys? I don't know. Oh, there he is.
All right, I'm here. For the people that thought I wasn't gonna come back, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy, dog. Look, guys, that's Michael. I took that picture myself of Michael with the MAGA hat. Put me on the big screen. Put me on the big screen, Pickles. All right, you can take me down. That's Mike.
Blasphemy, bro.
Yo, relax, bro. Mike was best friends with Trump. Remember, there were only 3 people that stuck by Michael Jackson during his hardest time when he got arrested. Chris Tucker, Elizabeth Taylor, Donald Trump. Remember that.
Donald Trump will ditch you the second you're not doing well. Ask Roy Cohn.
Man, that's crazy work. Go ahead and read through your thing. Show me something.
Ask Mike Pence. Yeah, ask anybody. Ask Rudy Giuliani.
Shout out to Rudy Giuliani. He cleaned up New York.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit, dude. Washed up.
I'm not defending Rudy Giuliani. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the greatest president, the most transparent, honest president we've had in American history.
Dude, he's got more documented lies than anybody in history.
He's the only one that has his lies documented.
Because it's useful when nobody's lying. There's
Why
no
you
reason
don't
to
think Obama never
document
lied?
them.
You think Obama never lied?
Tell me the Obama's biggest lie, and I'll give you 2 this week that Donald Trump said.
Obama said that Muammar al-Gaddafi was a dictator that was unaliving tens of thousands of people a day, spreading propaganda so he could go unalive them. Tell me something on that level. Oh, Trump said.
Yeah, he called Zelensky a dictator. Last week he said that exporting nations pay the tariffs.
He never said that. Pull that up.
He did. He said that exporting nations are okay.
Pickles, you got a computer. Pull it up.
Yeah, I got you. He says that the tariffs are a tax on the exporting nations. That's what he says.
They're because the cost is going to get passed on to them.
No.
Yep.
Inherently, a tariff is a tax on the importing nation.
Sure.
So you admit that's a lie.
No, the importer pays it at the dock, but during negotiations, I know how it works. Do you know what the harmonized tariff schedule is?
Do you want to see the thing? Do you still want to see the video?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And when I show it to you, you're still going to justify it, right?
Well, I gotta hear it.
Okay.
As we've been reporting, President Trump's new 10% tariff on Chinese goods is now in effect. China has retaliated against the U.S., placing up to 15% tariffs on select American imports. Those go into effect Monday. Earlier this week, the president attempted to implement 25% tariffs on Mexican and Canadian imports. However, he agreed to pause these tariffs for the next month after the leaders from both countries vowed to boost border security. For more, let's bring in CBS News confirmed executive editor Rona Terran. So, Rona, President Trump has made some claims about the history of tariffs and what they mean. Let's listen.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country.
See what he said? A lot of people like to say it's a tax on us, but it's not. We pass it on to them. Literally. Thank you for playing that, Pickles. The man Pickles.
So your evidence is that he said that's not true? That's your evidence for saying that's not true?
Because we pay it at the dock doesn't mean that business is just clear cut like that. It's very nuanced.
Listen,
Pickles.
I got a lot of videos to show you on TikTok of
play
farmers.
another one. It might help your case better.
You can't shake this one off. Literally, when you're at the dock as a consumer, you sign and pay for the tariff, right?
Yeah, because it gets passed on to them.
It gets passed on to who?
The exporter. Whatever company.
In what world, if I buy T-shirts from China and there's $30, and when they come here, I pay $60 worth of tariffs, and where does China pay for it? When's their turn?
Right.
How do we get them to pay for it?
We tell China to lower their price to accommodate for the tariff. So when it gets to the docks, we're not paying a surplus or a surcharge.
So tell me, what price should China charge?
It doesn't
for
matter
us to
because
not be impacted?
China's going to do for us, the customer, what we will do for the consumer in our market. Accommodate to keep the business.
Yeah, so tell me, what price does a $30 T-shirt need to be for us to eat that?
Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about. You're trying to like slip and slide out of the fact that you just ate yourself with that clip, and you know that
a shirt needs to be like $10 from $30,
and they gotta eat it.
You're telling me that China's somehow going to come up with goods at a third of the price that they're already selling us? So like things that were like so unbelievably cheap already are going to be a third of that price?
They're going to accommodate. Mind you, I already told you that the tariff that's imposed on the nation's exports is not the tariff that is going to, the rates and the duties vary depending on the commodity's value.
You're just saying, dude. Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to restart TikTok. Be right back. He's gone. Guys, somebody paid me $9. Nico, thank you for the $9. It said, kick him, please. And Jody, thank you for the $5. Says, you want to see Bretta run? Get Erica. All right. I don't know. Bretta's been on for a while, bro. I don't know if he's still here. Guys, it's $40 to kick.
I think you should charge more for me. I'm not joking. People really hate me.
Guys, you're not going to be able to convince anybody that knows how to read that tariffs are paid for by the exporting country.
I literally told you it's not paid for by the exporting country. It's paid for by the importer at the dock, but the price gets negotiated with the exporter.
And I just illustrated to you how impossible that is. You're going to reduce someone's prices by 200%?
You didn't illustrate that. You literally just made some shit up.
Yeah, I just gave you a scenario in which it sounds incoherent. You're going to reduce. So in order for us to not to see
No,
any
your
increased
scenario
prices
was like,
at
oh, it's
all,
so cheap. How are they gonna make it cheaper? They're
yeah,
gonna.
yeah. You're expecting Chinese manufacturers to reduce their prices by 200% before they sell them to
Yeah,
us?
because guess what? The amount of quantitative easing they're gonna need to make up for losing their biggest customer will
We're
inflate
only
their
13%
yuan.
of their. We're only
We're
13% of
15.
their. We're
We're
13.
15, and we're still
13.
and did we go down to 13? Did we? Can you show
Yeah,
me that?
yeah. We're only
Listen, I
13% of
might be
China's
wrong.
imports.
I might be wrong. But if we're 13, nobody's bigger than us in China. If we're 13, then the next leading one is what? Hong Kong at like 10%? Okay. At the end of the day, the quantitative easing that they're going to need to inject into their money supply to make up for the job loss that they're going to face due to losing their biggest customer is going to inflate their yuan to all hell.
Dog, all they have to do is go sell a bunch of. They have $750 billion of U.S. bonds. They could just go sell them, and we're fucked.
That's like 2% of our deficit. Y'all did y'all exaggerating the auctioning off of the 10-year bonds that recently happened that devalued the dollar as if the bond market doesn't work that way. Oh, the 30 years went up. So what? The 30-year went up. The 30-year will go back down. All right? Have you seen the 10-2 chart? Have you seen the 10-3 chart? The 10-2 chart is fine. What was it yesterday? 4.32? We were flat. We were flat. We had an inverted yield curve for 2 consecutive terms under Biden. Y'all redefined it. We had 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Y'all redefined it to say we weren't in a recession. But we have a flat yield curve on the 10-2 or 10-3. I gotta check it on the 10-3. And you're gonna tell me, oh, we're doing so bad. We're heading into a recession. Y'all niggas is weird, and y'all hate America.
We don't hate America. Only Trumpers hate
You
America.
detest the country.
I'm sorry?
You detest our nation.
No, we hold dear the Constitution and what it says,
Bro,
and you
pull up
guys
the
don't.
10-2 chart, bro.
I have it right here.
What is it, the Fred?
Yeah.
All right, I don't use the Fred, but I it's all right. It's okay. Where is it? Where are we today? Because I think yesterday, 2 days ago, we were 4.32, 4.32, flat.
His 10-year constant maturity. It says 0.67 on April 21st.
0.67. You don't know how to interpret the chart, bro. The fuck are you talking about 0.67?
What am I looking at?
What are you talking about? 0.67.
What am I looking at?
Yo, what are you looking at? What is this? The 10-year? It's the 10-2. You're looking at the 10-2 chart.
That's what you just asked me for.
All right. Where's 0.67? Show it to me.
It's a very April 21st is 0.67.
Yeah, you took that's the rise. That's not the actual rate.
It says percent. Yeah, it's the
don't-
rise.
You don't. Yeah, it's the rise. I just said that. It's not the rate. Show me the rate.
At 0.55?
Yeah, you don't know what you're looking at. You're struggling in front of your people right now. You don't understand the bond market.
Maybe I don't know about bonds. Help me
Yeah,
out.
you're struggling. You're struggling. Why you acting like you know what you're talking about right now? You're lost.
Chill, bro. What do you want to show me on this?
That we're not inverted, that none of the signs of a upcoming recession are at hand at all. And you guys are fear-mongering using speculatory people with biased claims. And you need to stop doing that because you're trying to kill consumer confidence to say Trump's plans failed.
Nobody
Because his plans
has
are bad.
confidence in this market right now. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody wants to invest in a market that they don't know is going to have tariffs in between them and their manufacturers. Today, tomorrow, next year, they don't know what they're going to do. Who's going to go spend a few $1 billion on a factory that if they don't know if they're going to be tariffed
But
on
they're
the
doing
products
it,
they're
right?
going to use?
But they're doing it, right? Over $2 trillion of investments from outside of the nation, right?
Nice. But
Nice.
nobody here wants to?
What do you mean nobody here wants
to? Do you see people internally doing it?
I see a bunch of people from other countries that are American companies coming back to America, and then we also see how are we going to incentivize companies that are in here to come back to America? Pickles, help me. What are you talking about right now?
I don't know, but not with tariffs.
You lost all the
Not with
confidence in
tariffs.
your tone, by the way.
No, absolutely not. Not with tariffs, because we're not going to produce goods cheaper than other nations when our
We never
dollar
said
and our
that.
cost of living is higher. It
We
makes
never
no
said
sense for
that.
us to
We're
become
gonna
a
produce it
manufacturer.
cheaper.
Nobody wants to manufacture all of that shit, all of those trinkets that we buy from other nations. Nobody wants to
Listen,
do that. I want to make microchips here. I want to make
you're
specialty
gonna do
goods
that.
here.
What are you doing? Taiwan already announced $100 billion to come back and do chip manufacturing in America. First and foremost,
I wonder if they
if the
bought into the Chips and Science Act. I wonder if that's
listen,
why.
the Chips and Science Act is a vanity project, a waste of taxpayer money, and the tariffs have yielded 3 times more results
Okay.
than that. We can get to the Chips and Science Act in a second.
No one's making big moves on tariffs, bro.
All right, they're doing humongous moves on tariffs. Now let me finish what I'm saying. If more companies are moving to America, that means more people are employed. The GDP is gonna go higher. Of course, inflation is gonna go up because the money supply is more. More people are working. More, of course, inflation is supposed to follow the GDP. That's healthy inflation.
Oh my
Pickles.
god. All right. Well, Bretta, I got $40 to pay you to kick.
They
Thank
saved your
you.
life.
Thank you,
Saved
Emilio.
you from
Thank
me.
you for the $40. I also have to restart TikTok again. I'm so
I'm gonna
sorry,
catch
guys.
you again, Pickles. Don't be confident.
Get out of my life. I've never heard somebody try to justify tariffs as the exporter's liability as hard as that guy. Oh my god. Chat, we're back. Keep him off. Oh my god. Bro wanted nothing to do with the projections. Wanted nothing to do. He wanted to do his own little homework. He wanted to look at a chart and say, "Look, nothing." He didn't want to read anybody's like comprehensive analysis of what Trump's tariffs are going to do. He wanted his own interpretation and say, "You guys are crazy. You guys are silly." Why
Pickles,
restart?
those charts were Christ chosen, though. Didn't you know?
Why did I restart? I have this thing when I minimize the TikTok app and then I try to maximize it, it won't maximize, it just stays minimized, and my whole stream on YouTube and Twitch relies on a screen share of it.
I think everyone needs a good, deep, long breath, a little bit of a cleanse, maybe a neck roll, shoulder roll. Take a moment. Bretta is gone. And we're taking Trump supporters, so please, if you are MAGA, request up. Also, can we fulfill Pickle's gift goal? We need some of those little GGs. Don't forget, your favorite DEI hire over here. And subscribe to Pickles. We have lots of cool stickers. If the subs can show those off, that'd be sweet.
God, that's probably the... It feels weird talking to somebody that guy knows some stuff about economics that I don't. But he's still insane.
Yeah, I would go with the insane part and just really keep that in the gut.
He's still insane, bro.
Yeah, I would agree with the chat. I think it's a god complex. I don't know how you're gonna say Donald Trump is as Christ chosen, but also admit that he really doesn't know what he's doing a lot of the time without flailing, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. If you're MAGA, please request up. We need something juicy. Feel free to come up here, give us your laments if you think that Democrats or leftists are the worst. It's your chance to be a misogynist to me too. It's excellent.
You know what the most ironic part of this timeline is I'm now part of a Signal chat, but full of left-leaning people.
Well, just don't put the Atlantic on it and we'll be good. Oh wait, I forget the Atlantic is on our side, so we're chill either way.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I've never done this before. Okay, so I do not support Trump, but I do have like a debate that I want to put up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so how do you guys like feel about the abortion policies?
I'm pro-choice.
Pro-choice.
Uh-huh.
Can I like ask like why you like do you think there should be limitations on it as there are, or should it just be full pro-choice?
I think that we should let women and trust women to make decisions with their own body and stop putting red tape in between them and their doctors and the healthcare that they need and causing horrible situations like we saw with Amber Thurman or what's her name, Miss Cox in Texas, and the 1,200 women that died in 2021.
Let's just adopt Canada's policy of no red tape, just no legislation. Just let doctors and women handle it. We've got it.
Now, I agree to a certain extent, but like I feel that some people from like that I knew whenever it was like, you could go there and you can get abortion done at any time. I felt like people were using that as
That's not real. That's not real.
it's not, because
No.
I know someone that has went to go get abortion and more than one before because they weren't taking care. Like I
I'm
believe
sorry. So you're sitting up here. Someone told you this intimate information. You're weaponizing their trauma and now publicizing it, but you don't really have the details.
no, I know what happened. I mean,
Okay, what
it was,
happened? What do you think happened exactly?
I knew her. She was actually, if we're gonna be honest, it was my cousin, in fact, and she actually gave me permission to come up here and talk about it because I have a debate on saying that yes, I believe women should have the rights to go, and if they want an abortion, of course, you guys should be able to have it because it is your bodies at the end of the day. But I do believe that there is something wrong with the fact that people sometimes take advantage of that, and instead of doing things to implement birth control, condoms, plan B's, those things that can if you're not wanting a kid, those are steps that you can take to prevent of having one. Now I know IUDs can kill after
I need you to understand that 52% of abortions are due to failed contraceptive. Also, there's two parties involved to use contraception. Birth control only goes so far with so many people. There are a lot of mixed variables there. IUDs fail. A lot of systems are not 100%. So yeah, sure, Plan B, those are expensive. Like then we're putting another bar in front of women being able to access care. So I don't know why you think we can police people's sex lives entirely. Like people have honest mistakes or things go wrong or contraception fails. So why is that your business? Because there's no abuse of the healthcare system. People use it because they need healthcare.
Of course, I'm not gonna say I disagree with anything you're saying. Honestly, like I agree with all the things you're saying. To be honest, I'm not someone that really. I'm someone that sits in the middle on this, and I usually say, "Hey, yeah, leave it in the women's and doctors' hands." I just also like hearing other people's point of views and also debate about it just a little bit because
Because it doesn't affect you, because you can be cavalier about women's rights and us actually losing this autonomy. Because it's
no,
fun.
because actually you want to actually not because of any reason like that because I actually stand on women's side a lot more than usual than other males do. I actually look at you guys as people and not as objects. Women have been objectified a lot, and it's actually been getting worse. I do believe in that women should have pro-choice. I believe in women should have better rights. And I do believe in like some like I don't know as many movements because I usually try to stay out of politics as much as I can because politics get very harsh. And I just had a debate with my friend about Trump and Harris, and had a little bit of a fallout, and we haven't been talking. So I usually try to stay out of those things with people that I know because I know that it's a hard topic, and there are not many people that know a lot about all of this, and neither do I know everything about this as well. So I don't want to come on as a misogynistic bastard or someone that just comes against women and say, "Hey, I mean, I just like doing this because I like hearing your input, and it doesn't matter." No, because I like hearing what you have to say because it does matter. And then it gives me another way to look at this and be like, okay, you know what?
Well,
Yeah,
so
that
if
makes
I
more
could, and
sense.
I can appreciate that, and I will not use my whole bite force on you by any means. But I need you to understand that number one, politicizing this particular issue, which it has been, and that's not your fault, but coming up here and talking about it is exhausting for women, and a lot of us have already lost this right. So having to continually reaffirm that we have the right to bodily autonomy over the right to life is a lot for us. Secondly, I would say if you claim to not be a misogynist, if you claim to be on the side of women, what I would ask you to do is instead of even having some kind of foot in the race, just be pro-choice because you think that we should have a choice, at least up to some degree, and instead approach things like the global femicide that we have going on right now, or all of the bans that are happening and continuation of states. There are even clean water acts right now that Republicans are proposing to test for birth control to later be able to say that birth control is more dangerous. They are taking away everything. So just to be frank with you, being pro-choice is the way to go if you don't want to get into a full-fledged battle with women.
I also want to like I just want to say no matter how like few of those people we have amongst us like doing birth control or using abortion as birth control, having 3, 4, 5 of them, first of all, it's none of our business, but second of all, no matter how few we have of those running around doing this, people will always say, well, everybody's doing it. There's no way for us to disprove like we don't track people's with a punch card. This is just the big boogeyman that people put out and say that this is what liberal women do, or this is what easy women do, or something like. It's just such a misogynist take to think that people are spending $500 every time they accidentally get pregnant rather than use contraception or get birth control or use plan B 50. Like it's just as easy to do plan B. It's $50. Nobody's just going out having fun doing abortion after abortion. And even if they are, I still don't really give credence. I don't give personhood to a clump of cells, and neither should you. I don't think people should really care.
Okay, I like this actually points, and I just seen one of the comments that says, "Can we take male rights and forced vasectomy since they are not giving us a choice?" Okay, that's another way to put it. Of course, like I am now, like I'm hearing the other ways it comes around, so I wasn't really to put it in a way because I really don't want to look like that like terrible guy again. Um, I I looked at it as I wasn't saying all women do it because I do like as I was saying, women should have the rights to do these things, and I'm not saying that in any way should it be taken from you guys or should it be taken out of the hands because that's not right. And then for some people, so for a lot of male views, a lot of people will say that, hey, then I seen someone. What's that big guy on TikTok? He's always talking about a C-section was like easier or something like that. I don't agree with that because then that's also doing another thing to the woman's body. Um, so I thank you guys for letting me come on here and debate and talk about it. So thank you for giving me another way to look at this. And as I want to say again, I am pro-choice. I just wanted to
I'm
hear your
glad.
input on this, and I am so sorry that if I came across offensive
No,
anyway.
hey, you're okay. This is I'm a little sharp, and it's okay if you have questions or if you're wondering about things. Women are on defense. I'm personally myself in Texas where we've lost the rights. We are being tracked. We have bounties, so we haven't have EMTALA right now. So I'm a little sharp, and I think you're very polite. But what I would say is be more aware of the surrounding concerns that women are having right now. Like Trump just gutted the largest women's health research project we've had long term, and it was phenomenal. It cost $10 million a year, and we've saved like 200,000 women from breast cancer. But those are the things they're taking away from us on top of our rights to bodily autonomy. So there's just a lot of research you can do to help your cousin and help women.
Okay. And yeah. And also I wasn't like trying to expose my cousin or anything. She did tell me, and I was leaving out names, and of course like the whole situations, like what came down to it was in her earlier age, she was she was doing different things, and she just wasn't like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like she got into situations and she used that as a getaway. And I never, because whenever she told me about it, I never was like, hey, you're bad for this. But I feel like people in our family looked at her as she was murdering them. And I don't look at it as murder. I looked at it as, hey, um, this is her body, it's her choice. She's young, she's still in college, and none of you guys are going to be in the foot of where she's at. So I kind of was just trying to see what other people felt.
And I appreciate you supporting her. What I would say is think about how much trauma that would be to have your whole family think that you're violent like that. You know, women's bodies are very complicated. Pregnancy is incredibly dangerous. And we already have to walk through protesters even to get health care. So, I mean, there are a lot of ways that we can support women by not legislating against them and just advocating for them to have a say in their own bodily autonomy.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. And then last thing I want to put in there, I do not like Trump. I just want to keep that out there.
Good man.
I am I stay out of politics, as I say. I guess, what would you call that person? I wouldn't say middle because I'm nowhere near the right. I'm very far left on thoughts, but I try to stay out of it.
Okay, we appreciate you, bro.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. For those of you on YouTube spouting off silly shit, 60,000 women last year were victims of grape who became pregnant in red states where you have no access to abortion. 20,000 of them were in Texas, where you do have a bounty, a $10,000 bounty on your head if you try to get a abortion. You guys are the worst. You guys fucking suck.
Yeah, in the first year after Dobbs, it was 82,000 and 24,000 were in Texas. So just keeps happening.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I am not, actually. I am a Harris supporter, but in reference to the last guest's concerns, comments, whatever he had to say about it, which, I'm glad he's trying to at least learn about it. I'm not particularly happy about the fact that women don't have autonomy on their bodies anymore. So my son, if I had not had the proper health care at the time, because when I had my son, he was a product of grape, and I'm a lesbian. So can you imagine what it would have been like if I did not have that choice? I did choose to keep him, do not get me wrong, but that was still my choice. And to have it ripped away from you is not something that anybody, no matter male or female, should have it done to them. No, men can't get pregnant, but they can and have been raped before. So can you imagine what it would be on a women's side when there's so much more stigmatism on us when it comes to that? If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, what people also don't recognize is not only is that an incredible trauma, compounded with trauma, but then there are states like where Pickles and I are from in Texas that would also allow the rapist to petition for parental rights. So it's a dangerous, dangerous cycle for not only children, but also, of course, for women, knowing that, a homicide is the number one unaliver of pregnant women. But I'm so sorry to hear what happened. But I am glad that you have a wonderful son out of it. And I appreciate you sharing your story with us, Stoner.
Not a problem. I just wanted to say my 2 pieces. That's it.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem.
Chat, tap the screen. If you're a Trump supporter, come and debate. Don't forget to follow the stream if you guys enjoy these kinds of talks. Also, give Kristen all the love and the gifts and follows if possible. She is an awesome co-host, especially when it comes to pro-choice debates. I'm just
Hell
a
yeah,
little bit.
feminism.
I'm a little bit spacey tonight, chat. Trying to wake up. It's been a long day.
Wake up. Why don't you put a little makeup? Left the keys on the table. You feel me?
A big shout out. I did just get my first membership on YouTube. Chat.
Hell yeah, brother.
I just got remonetized on YouTube. And if you guys want, I think I only have one member. So if you guys want to become a member, if you guys want to find me, if TikTok ever goes away, that's the place where I'll be building this and trying to focus on a little more moving forward until we know or we're more certain about what's going to happen with TikTok. But I just got my first membership, so thank you. I'm going to try to find out who it was. Yo, what's up, Chris?
I also see a Russian psyop down there. I think his name's Toktik or something like that. Says he was your first. He popped ye old cherry of your membership. Good for you. There can't be 876 people in here that agree with us fully, right? MAGA, request up. Don't you want to yell at me about abortion again? I'm right here. Or please just, do Pickle's thing, because, yeah, it's probably old to him at this point. Also, we're only 10K likes away from 200K. If we could wake Pickles up, he's getting tired face.
Sorry,
tap
guys.
And don't forget to subscribe because we need like 25 more of those. We have cool stickers, so if you're a sub, put those stickers in the chat, please. Also, how was your oh, Shiggy, yeah, I think you're MAGA, right? Shiggy, you can request up if you're MAGA-ish. How was your tour day over at A&M?
Oh man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Got to meet a bunch of cool people. Meeting all the creators was fucking dope. Hanging
I
out with
imagine
them.
that'd be the cool part.
Yeah. Yeah, hanging out with them. Going out to eat with them. The A&M day was fun. It was a long day. There were a few instances where it was kind of slow, but it really got traction. And who just became a member? Callisto Fury, thank you so much for becoming a member. I
yeah,
fucking
Callisto.
love you. W
Girl,
Callisto's
you're
in the chat. Make it rain, baby.
She gets all the bombs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was no Rads had texted me asking if I could come up. I was held up that day, but it looks like you guys had a blast, and I saw that Charlie Kirk ran away from y'all. Not surprising. He's he's a pair of empty balls. So
I don't know if you caught wind of all of the drama happening today, but there was quite a bit of drama we had to cover today. We were live with Dean earlier.
I haven't got. I'm still catching up on like a week and a half ago kind of drama pre. So please feel free to let me know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to dig into it. I'll dig into it in a DM if you want.
Yeah, I love when Pickles does that thing where he's like, "Oh, I have something really cool to tell you."
Okay, I'll touch on it a little bit.
No,
I'll touch on
it's
a little
cool.
bit.
You don't have to air it out.
There was some drama involving one of the staffers of the organizing, like the pack. There's some drama involving that.
A little bit. I got some wind, but I don't know quite what it is.
And then there was also the organization of the whole thing, real sketch. So there was a little bit of that. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, I looked at their financials the other day. I was like, I don't know if that's what it was about, but I was like,
It wasn't. I don't know. I haven't looked that up, but it was. I don't know. I don't want to give anybody too much ammunition for them to clip and be like, but
Yeah. But, organizations have issues, and we like to call them out as well because leftists aren't hypocrites.
yeah.
Well, mostly. Some of us are. But.
Well, we made a movement, and we're gonna have a signed, I guess, petition to see a change in leadership in the pack that we're using, so that we don't have to deal with that anymore, and so that we're not hypocrites.
If I could make an editor's note, instead of unfuck America, I would call it start sounding America. I think that'd be a lot more colorful. But also you'd have to snap the sounding rod. But that's just me. Gentlemen, if you don't know what sounding is, Google it. You'll have a good time. Okay, I could have sworn Shiggy said he was going to request up. He's MAGA, so I don't... MAGA, request. We're just sitting here. Like prey.
Coming
Yellow.
through?
Yellow.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, bro?
Oh, not much. I'm wanting to see if I can help coerce some MAGA to get up here. In the meantime, I can get in the mindset of a MAGA. Let me just pretend God sent Trump. Let me pretend the earth is flat. How else can we do this? I don't like dictators, but if Trump's the dictator, I'm cool with it. You have women.
Don't forget to incentivize women to be pregnant, but also not really.
Yeah, what was that called? The what tail? That's like a wet dream to me. No joke, but no, seriously, MAGA down in the chat, guys. Like, come on up, please. Like, Pickles is one of the most upfront people to actually have a respectful debate. Yes, he will match energy. We get that as anybody would, but Pickles is a great person to start running your ideas and thoughts across and seeing where it all falls apart, or where is this disconnect between Democrats, independents, and MAGA. So guys, come on, request on up. It's the best place to have this kind of conversation.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%, guys. I'm at work right now. I'm going to have you in my ear for the next few hours or however long you're on, guys. So I hope you guys get some conversations going. Like I said, some MAGA, come on up. Don't be scared. Kristen doing amazing. Pickles amazing. Tic Tac, I always love seeing you around, but I'll catch you guys in a bit, all right?
All right, have a good one. And then counter offer, if you guys like being degraded, Tic Tac's here now, so I guess I can do it too.
I'll be bad cop. So what's going on, guys? How y'all been?
Hi, favorite. Good. Slow.
Yeah, I thought I'd come up and fill in some news.
Are you gonna do communist stuff? What?
Yeah, commie news stations.
Cool. Excellent. Go for it.
No, so I came up to be a conspiracy theorist.
Hell yeah, I'm here for it.
Have you heard about Virginia Guffrey?
No.
You know who she is, right?
No.
Virginia Guffrey was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. She was.
Oh, yeah, I did.
She was found dead.
Yeah,
unalived.
She took Prince Andrew to task and ended up being his downfall. Hell yeah. Anyway, she came. So here's my conspiracy. 2019, she posted. There was a lot of unalivings, people who were connected to the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Virginia Guffrey came out with a post and said, "Hey, I'm happy. I'm okay. I'm healthy. I'm not planning on hurting myself." January of this year, right around the first of the year, she was hit by a bus. She was in a car accident, right? And they did a lot of damage to her organs. I guess it shut down She's having a lot of liver and kidney problems, and it was like terminal, like it was going to unalive her if she didn't get a transplant. 2 days ago, she was found unalived, self-unalived in her house in Australia. Now, here's my conspiracy. 1, the 2019 tweet. 2, they already came out and announced her cause of death. That's really fucking weird to me. They don't do that, especially a high profile. Like if it was a traumatic incident, yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, it was a car crash or, it was a plane crash, something like that. If it's unaliving, they don't come out and announce that stuff really quick. They wait till autopsies before they do that stuff. So that's my conspiracy. What do you guys think?
I mean, I thought when you said that you had a conspiracy theory that we were going to have a good time, like listening to InfoWars. But yeah, I think there's a lot of legs to that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if JD Vance had visited her the night before. Sorry, to make it light. I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah, JD did. Well, I mean, he met Jesus and the devil within a 24-hour period. I thought that was kind of
damn.
Who has that chance, right?
Wow.
So yeah, that's my 60 Minutes did a special tonight. This is getting kind of deep, guys. 60 Minutes did a special tonight. I forget his name, the old guy, I don't know which one it was, came out and said essentially, we're fucked. Donald Trump is attacking journalism at all levels right now. Paramount, the corporation Paramount, is our parent company, and they have been monitoring everything we say and do for the last few months because they want a merger between Paramount and another company. So they need approval from the Trump administration. Because of this, the executive producer, the guy who's been in charge of this entire 60-minute thing for the last 47 years, he quit. He quit because of this. And then they got on TV and said, yeah, he quit because Donald Trump is he's attacking journalism. This is what's happening in our country. Like they just pulled the pin, threw it in, and said, boom. Guys, we're losing our country right now. That's what they said.
Hey, Tic Tac.
Hey, what's up, man?
He's playing some kind of game. I don't know what it is. What is it?
Claire Obscure.
Claire Obscure. Something 33. Expeditiously. I don't know things.
Hey, we got somebody. I think it worked. I killed enough time. Nico.
It's Nico.
Nico. Okay.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
There's a lot of things. I think the main thing is that it's the disruption is I think the main thing. The Republican Party, I think, really needed to be broken up. Well, both parties needed to be broken up from a fundamental level, but I feel like the only party that has the structure and rules to be broken up was the Republican Party. I was a Bernie supporter back in the day, and the Democratic Party structure doesn't allow for disruptive candidates and innovative thinking when it comes to, fixing things. Same thing, at least when you get into the establishment things. But anyways, right, like, I think we can all agree that Bernie Sanders was robbed of the his nomination due to, this. And when I say the structure, I'm really talking about superdelegates, right? That's the core of the issue with the Democratic Party is you have the establishment ingrained themselves and they give, out to their friends votes, superdelegate vote. And obviously, when we talk about the establishment and everything, they control the media and, the narrative and things like that. So they can kind of downplay, let's say, like how well is Bernie Sanders, actually doing and everything. And, you look at his rallies compared to Hillary's rallies and it's like, okay, well, this is bullshit. And so one of the things, I'm kind of landing my plane here, but it's really the disruption to the political system that needed to happen, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons. I mean, getting into geopolitics and everything. But go ahead. I'll let you respond.
I feel like it's like this isn't just a disruption. This isn't just like a fresh start we're going to be able to build from. We're basically being imprisoned into fascism, authoritarianism, like textbook, like an amalgamation of all of the things.
Sure, I want to make sure we're defining our terms. When you say fascism, I hear a lot of people throw out fascism. Can you define that for me, just so?
Fascism has 14 tenets to it, but it's basically a paleogenic ultranationalism.
Okay, so what's the problem with ultranationalism? Let's start there.
So you can be so nationalistic that it is to your own detriment. So
okay.
Say we could save 1 million lives and earn the respect of every other nation by using 0.5% or $9 billion worth of extra funding to do soft war to save ourselves trillions of dollars in the near future. We could do that, but instead we have a party saying America first. Even though they won't spend any money on an actual American, they say no money for any foreign nations, even though it's life or death for thousands of people. It like this country's sovereignty is hanging in the balance. No, don't do it. And that's what I mean. You can be so naturalistic that it hurts you.
I think I follow. I think there's definitely a balance. Like, obviously, well, at least in my opinion, it's a good idea to love your country and want what's best for you and your family and your local community. Because obviously, at the end of the day, all we can really affect individually is our local community. And, obviously a nation is built off of that.
I don't think that's true. We can affect, in modern day and age, look what I'm doing. I'm not just affecting my local community.
Sure, but you're not like the average person, like the average person doesn't have a big following and, things like that. Like, sure, that might be true for you.
I am an average person. I was doing nothing 6 months ago. You can do this.
Sure, but not everyone can do this. Like, you can't have an artist and poet, not to say you're an artist or a poet, but you can't have an artist and poetry like economy. Not everyone can be a podcaster, right? You need more listeners than speakers. But we're kind of getting off topic.
Gig economy, because I mean it's kind of what we're doing, like a gig economy.
Well, you can't have an entertainment based economy. Obviously there's goods and services that need to be dished out, but kind of getting off topic, but I wouldn't say I'm your stereotypical MAGA person. Like, I'm an atheist.
You're a nationalist.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's bad.
No, I don't think so.
100% is bad.
I don't think so.
Every time throughout history, can you name me one form of nationalism that has been beneficial?
Oh, I don't know. It depends on what you mean by beneficial. You could talk about, let's say, the Roman Empire and the shit that that was brought out of that, and it depends on your perspective.
You should be able to name me one form of nationalism that has ever benefited the mass population. Then
I don't know. What about the French Revolution?
Sure, was that nationalism?
Vive la France.
What do you mean? That nationalism?
Sure, you could argue that it was.
It wasn't.
Okay,
but hey, man, with nationalism, does that imply that your nation is better than all other nations? Okay.
Instead of just saying it's not.
I'm sorry?
Well, you're claiming that it wasn't nationalistic. I mean,
no, it wasn't. That was more of a consolidation of the classes, more than anything.
Sure.
That had nothing to do with nationalism. It was more of the proletariat against the bourgeoisie.
Sure.
It's not a nationalist idea, right?
Okay.
So with nationalism, would you say that is a form of superiority over all other nations?
Oh, totally not.
Oh, no. Well, America's number one,
not.
Right?
Well, everyone wants to try to strive to be the best, but America is definitely not number one. But
so
you want to make sure,
part of nationalism, though. America first.
Yeah, of course, we want to put ourselves first, but that doesn't mean we are. We try to strive to be better. We're trying to strive to make our lives.
Nico, I don't think you understand.
quite
Yeah,
what
yeah.
nationalism is. TikTok, I feel like you would explain this very simply to him.
Yeah, nationalism is a form, like it's completely separate from patriotism. Patriotism is, hey, I love the blue bonnets in my state, and I love the barbecue, or I love the snoring desert hot dogs that my state. That's pride. That's patriotism. That's
Sure, and that's not what
patriotism.
I'm talking about.
Nationalism is our nation is better than all other nations.
No, no.
So
Okay, I don't.
therefore,
I think.
therefore, we
Hold
need
on.
to we need to.
Let's. I disagree with that
Okay.
premise because
I
I
don't
don't think
care if you
it's.
disagree. That's
Well,
what
no, I think you're
nationalism
wrong.
is.
Can I explain to you why I think you're wrong? I think you're wrong because it's not we are better than everyone else. Nationalism is we should take care of ourselves first.
We already do that though. So like that doesn't really mean anything while we're the richest country on earth.
Because
We're
okay, I know
doing
we're still
fairly
defining
well.
terms, but you can't just say, okay, nationalism is we think we're better than everyone else. I disagree with that completely. Nationalism is we want to make sure that we take care of ourselves first, and then once we're good, we can help other people.
Okay.
It's
There's a more
Okay,
encompassing
all right,
way for me
with
to put
that,
it though.
go on.
It's not just nationalism. It's also like people believing that we have a shared culture, language, and history, and the nation should be politically and independent, independent, like economically too sometimes. And it also they do things
I
such
agree
as
with
like
you on that, right?
they
We have a certain culture we want to keep, for
yeah
sure.
that's
We
silly.
want to keep
And
Western
it's
culture.
they also
No, we don't.
We believe in free
they
flow of
also they also suppress
information.
their opposition.
The
So like
Western
what Trump is
ideologies
doing.
that we agree with.
Trump is
Nico,
using the
you
law
gotta
to
stop talking for a second.
Trump is
Okay,
suppre-
sorry.
you-
I'll shut up. Go on.
Can we
Trump
just
is
pull up
u-
the 14 tenets?
Yeah, we can. But Trump is using the law to suppress his opposition. That's another huge major tenet of fascism. I can just pull up the 14 tenets of fascism.
And that's the thing I definitely disagree with. And
Well,
there were and the other side did that as well, but
not really.
No, we don't. So
they
nationalism, by
weaponized the
definition,
justice
is
system.
upholding of one.
But anyways,
Oh my God, dude! Upholding of one's nation at the detriment to other nation and oneself. That's the definition of nationalism.
where
So
does
you're
this definition
literally
come from?
the dictionary, historians, scholars.
Let me go through the
learned
14
men.
Let me go through the 14 tenets, okay? The first one, powerful and continuing nationalism. And I envision in my head all of those idiots with Trump tattoos and Trump flags and all that shit, Trump stores wearing Trump masks with Trump shoes, with the Trump dollar bill, with Trump coins, Trump cards, Trump cereal, and their fucking cars wrapped with American flags and shit. It's so much so that when I see American flag, I just think they're racist now. I just straight up, that's all I think now. Disdain for recognition of human rights. You guys are literally been arguing for 2 weeks that certain types of people in this nation don't even have due process, which is on its face completely false. Identification of enemies and scapegoats for unifying cause. Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, immigrants. Supremacy of the military. Trump wants to do a military parade for his birthday. He invested $2 trillion into the military last time he was in office. You guys have exploded the military budget up to $1 trillion a year. It's insane. Rampant sexism. Basically, everybody has basically had to come to terms with Trump being an adjudicated sexual assaulter and have also essentially victim blamed E. Jean Carroll and all other 29 people who have accused Trump of sexually assaulting them.
Don't forget about the SAVE Act, which is another just legislation.
There you go, the SAVE Act, which is basically going to stop 68 million women from being able to vote this next election cycle. We have controlled mass media. Trump is literally doing this to a T. He is writing laws and using the FCC to harass certain companies into the ground. He's also using executive order to suppress his opponents in their law firms. He's also using the obsession of national security. So you can see that he's basically he's invoking certain laws to make it wartime right now so that he has extra abilities to do things such as tariffs and sending people to certain types of prisons without any sort of due process. You name it. Religion and government are intertwined. Trump literally started a anti-Christian bias task force with a executive order not too long ago. They
I
hold
thought it was
prayers.
anti-Semitic.
No, it's anti-Christian, and they hold prayers before
Not
all
that
of
it, you
all
know,
of their
like.
stuff. In
Sorry.
fact, these
go ahead.
same people are selling prayers for $1,000. If you tune in, the same
That's
lady who's a
retarded.
televangelist, whatever, televangelist. What's the word?
Televangelic. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, now I can't say it.
Yeah.
Televangelicist.
Yeah. She's selling prayers
Like
for
the people that-
$1,000 if
There we
anybody
go, sorry.
needs special prayers. Corporate power is protected. He's basically striking out any sort of consumer protectionism, environmental protectionism, and inviting companies to come and do whatever the
That
fuck
might
they
be a
want.
good tangent for one of the main problems I see, and why I was hoping that, you know, a candidate the problem with one of the main problems with this country, in my eyes, is at least at the highest levels, right? And I'll use the establishment, right? They've figured out how to privatize the gains and socialize the losses. If you've heard that term before.
Okay,
You know,
sure. Let me keep going. Labor power is
It doesn't
suppressed.
seem like you want to have a conversation.
Now, I want you to soak this in. I don't think
I
any of
will.
these,
Honestly, I'm
none
not
of
gonna
zero
absorb-
of these are debatable.
Hold
So
on a second. No, sure. Hey, I'm not gonna have enough time to like absorb all of these because you're going through it so fast. So I'm gonna make you a promise. I'm gonna go look this up and I'll read through these and I'll do my own research. Why don't we have a conversation about a specific topic instead of
just give me.
talking-
It's gonna be like
I'll
a
let you
minute,
finish
and I'll be
your
done.
arguments. Yeah,
It'll
go
be
on,
a
go on.
minute.
I'll let you finish.
Okay.
Go on.
Labor power is suppressed. We've got Trump basically firing the head of the NLRB. He's somehow convinced that he's the man of the people and going to be helping the blue-collar working class, when I can almost assure you he's going to keep doing things and hiring judges such as striking down like labor rights to attain overtime pay after $58,000. Or for anybody making over $58,000, I don't know. Basically, it's all in Project 2025. He's also going to take away the ability to work overtime. Disdain for the intellectuals and arts. We have Trump threatening Harvard and Columbia University, and I'm sure many more to come if they don't bend to his will. And he also, with his opponents, with his close circle of people, have been making fun of people that get certain types of college degrees, such as I don't know, gender studies or whatever. They make fun of people with college degrees, and they say that it's liberal indoctrination. Obsession with crime and punishment. Lock her up. Basically, he just signed an EO for the DOJ to go investigate two people, one of which who just wrote a bad book about him, or I don't know, basically saying that he's going to send homegrown people to CCOT, one of the world's worst prisons. And then rampant cronyism and corruption. Trump has more people in his inner circle that have been pardoned for felonies than any president in the past. He also has 34 felonies himself. He was also under 55 additional impending felonies before he became president, one of which was for stealing the election, which leads me to the last one. Trump cried about fraudulent elections all the way up until the day he was reelected, and now we haven't heard a single word about it. And he was also accused for installing fake slates of electors in 7 different swing states and basically pressing Mike Pence to certify the election using those fake slates of electors to falsely appoint him as the elected president and subverting the will of 81 million people.
I think you broke him.
Can you get?
Yeah, there you are.
Oh, sorry. I said I was asking. I was like, okay, that was a lot of topics. What do you want to talk about?
It was one topic: fascism.
Well, sure. But you're throwing out all these, like there's 15, pillars to fascism or nationalism.
14.
14 tenets. All right.
And is that to fascism or is that to nationalism?
To fascism.
Okay. Right.
Look up Umberto Eco. That's his 14 points of fascism. It was written in the 1980s. You can look up Jason Stanley, Roger.
I'm writing these names down on my whiteboard. I'm going to look these up.
Okay. Check out Jason Stanley if you like to read. Look up How Fascism Works by Jason Stanley. It's a great book.
And you can look up Robert Reich. He does a great article on how Trump is following his best friend Viktor Orban's plan for fascism. He's following his playbook, and he's also borrowing some from Bukele. All of his friends are fascist authoritarians, so he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeves. But he's going to be using crime or national security as a reason for invoking his next term. Is probably what's going to happen, or invoking whatever laws he's
try to run a
invoking.
third term.
Probably, well, he's already got the hats for it. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. But
Yeah, we keep saying that, but like when he makes a joke, I listen to it because he's telling us what he's going to do.
I mean, I think there's some truth in that, but I don't know. I think it's it'd be pretty unprecedented. I think, he was, the people that elect, that choose our electorate, they're, at least the ones that swing back and forth, they're pretty moderate in those terms, and I feel like if something like that would happen, he would never.
Did you know that every time an authoritarian's been put into power, they've been elected? Did you know that?
Every single time.
Just about. And they usually use national security as the reason as to why they're doing the things they're doing. Does that sound familiar?
Right. Yeah. It sounds like the fucking Patriot Act, if you ask me.
It sounds like Trump skipping due process or putting tariffs up, using wartime act from what is it? Whatever, from 200 years ago. He's doing all of the things. It's nothing close to the Patriot Act.
Well, I mean, you're familiar with the Patriot Act, I assume, right?
Under Obama?
No,
Bush.
no, it was Bush.
Bush?
Yeah. So, are you familiar with Eric Snowden?
Yeah.
Okay, that was his whole.
It's Edward Snowden, not Eric.
Edward Snowden.
I'm familiar with him.
Okay, yeah, that in my opinion was probably the worst thing that's happened to us in the past 20 years.
What's crazy is like it's pretty close to what Hegseth just did with the Signal chat. So I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What do you?
When you do, like full war plans and shit, but you put it without a protected server and you just accidentally add journalists, and then all of our information gets out there and jeopardizes our troops overseas.
That's not the Patriot Act. Patriot Act is.
I know. I don't need you to mansplain the Patriot Act to me. I'm saying that what we used to see as something so egregious is pretty much daily shit today.
Well, I think everything's just out in the open now. All the sketchy shit that was happening under Obama.
Our national security secrets shouldn't be just out and open.
They're not really national security
You're
secrets.
pointing
They're
at something from
things that
25 years ago, man. We're talking about fascism today, 2025,
Sure, but
under
you have to
Donald
understand
Trump.
like how this built up to.
Yeah, no, it's called fascist drift. You're 100% right. This is built up over the last 4 decades. 100% right. And now here we are in 2025, and we have a full-on invasion from brown people across the border. This shit isn't happening, man. It started off in the 1980s. They were saying, hey, Mexicans are coming to take our jobs. In the 1990s and early 2000s, they were saying, hey, they're coming over here and they're hurting our women and children. And then it was, they're unaliving us with the F stuff, right? And now it's a full-on invasion of brown people. And you know what? It wasn't happening in the 80s. It wasn't happening in the 90s. It wasn't happening in the early 2000s with the F stuff. That was us bringing it in, and it's not happening in 2025. He's literally using this as an excuse. He's literally using this as an excuse, so that way he can enact martial law.
Okay, I think this is a good topic. You want to talk about immigration?
Yeah.
I just broke it down to you.
Yeah, but I think there's a couple things I think you're off base with. I get the whole, the black and brown people. It's not that. It's not black and brown people. It's just people that aren't Americans, right? It's not that they're black or that they're brown or anything like that. It's you have.
Hey, man.
And it's not even mostly Mexicans too. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of people around the world that are flowing through that border, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
like, what's the actual? So like, you guys can't actually tell us why it's bad and how it's hurting you. You have to go
Sure.
into this weird spiel about how they can't assimilate, and that's when it
No,
turns into the
no,
fascist
no.
talk.
Of course, anyone can assimilate. That's not my position at all.
Okay, then what's
It's
wrong with people
well,
coming here?
well, if all for people coming here, I think almost every American believes that people should be able to immigrate here. It's it's a couple things. It's the volume, and obviously the volume's way too high, so that
It's been the same for like 8 years.
no. Look, if you look at the rates of ingestion, it's well, for one, it's skyrocketed under, yeah, ingestion.
Kevin, thank you so much for the $25. No, it hasn't. The DHS has report that they just released last July, and we're somewhere between 11 million and 12 million, which is where Trump left us. It's the same.
Okay, and that's tracking what, legal immigration or illegal immigration?
It's tracking non-citizen, like undocumented migrants.
Ingestion is what I just did with that gummy.
Yes. Now you're gonna digest.
That's how. That's
Anyways,
the total population of undocumented migrants in our country. It's literally, it's like within give or minus like 1 million people. We're talking about 2% of our population. It's literally nothing.
It's a significant minority, I would argue. But let's get back to your question, which was what's the problem with it, right?
Yeah. What is it?
The problem with it is you're hurting, in my opinion, and I don't know if this is the opinion of the base, which I don't. Anyways, is it makes our poor people even poorer, because if you bring all these people in and they're willing to work for nothing, it degrades the value of our poorest commodity.
They're taking our jobs.
Well,
They do the jobs that nobody else. They're doing all the jobs that nobody else wants to do. That's about it. We have.
That's really insulting to say that to people. Our poor people, like what, they're not going to
Really
work.
insulting for you to call impoverished people our
Yeah,
poor people.
And they're not even impoverished. A lot of them make a very good living doing what they do.
Hey,
Sure,
man, are you advocating for higher wages?
I'm totally advocating for higher
Then
wages,
why
and
won't
that's
the right-
exactly what I'm getting at.
Nobody on the
That's
right will
exactly what
ever.
I'm getting at.
You guys will never ever vote for high minimum wage. You will never
Well,
raise
you
it.
don't want. No, and this is something that has to happen organically, in my opinion. Yes, we can talk about the minimum
Let the
wage.
market decide it.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's all a mixture of it. But you guys just acknowledged you realized it, and you realized my point was, if you bring all of these people in who are willing to work for nothing, the people that are, working
all 2% of them.
We're not acknowledging your point at all. 100% not. We're acknowledging the point that capitalism will always take advantage of human beings, right? Regardless, if you want people to come in here to not be taken advantage of, we need to strengthen labor laws.
Yeah,
Donald Trump not going to do that.
Sure, and it's hard to do that when you can't regulate the people coming in and oversaturating the market.
And obviously, again, it's 2%. 2%. Trump has literally already started talking about keeping the ones we need in those necessary markets. We actually have the highest inflation in the nation in Florida when they passed SB 1718, kicking all of the migrants out of the state. They have the highest inflation still today, and it's been years. It's been like 4 years.
I'm aware.
And that's why. That's why. So if you guys want that, you can have it and go move to Florida.
I'm just spitting the facts that when you degrade labor by bringing in people that will work for nothing, you're going to degrade the rest of the labor force.
They don't work for nothing. They don't work for nothing.
No, obviously not. But they work for barely anything. And when
it's not
you're,
true.
Okay.
Why not enforce further labor laws by, I don't know, making it more difficult for corporations and businesses to get away with hiring people for lower wages than minimum wage?
Yeah, that's a great
everyone
question.
up instead of pushing everyone down into lower wages.
But that would be attacking corporations, Kristen, not our
Like,
poor people.
And this is where I think you guys get. So you guys watch Jimmy Dore. I love watching Jimmy Dore. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
No, I don't
Well,
think men are funny.
Jimmy Dore, he used to be on TYT. He's been on CNN a couple times. Independent pothead comedian. He's fucking hilarious. He's a progressive.
Okay.
Anyways, same. I mean, I'm aligned with you guys on that for sure. But
Then why would you vote for Trump?
again, so okay. For one, the Republican Party needed to be broken up and needed to be reborn.
So you're an accelerationist.
Is it like a venom?
Well, I don't really know what I'm agreeing to if I say yes, but I'm definitely for, like, part of me is a progressive, part of me is a libertarian.
None of you is a progressive if you vote.
And none of you is a libertarian if
Well,
you don't believe in open borders and no wars.
Yeah.
You would
Well,
tell
I'm
Trump
not
to
a
fuck
complete-
off
you know,
in every
I'm
instance
not
of
an
his last
absolutist.
100 days.
I've formulated my opinion and taken what I think is the best from all the other groups, and
You haven't looked into it though, like kind of like your nationalism
into what?
stance, right? Can you show me any instance where accelerationism wouldn't completely devastate marginalized communities?
well, I don't think I understand what accelerationism is, so I don't think I can answer that question. Can you define accelerationism for me so I can answer you?
Acceleration is just that. It accelerates the process of the establishment being destroyed, I guess. I don't know fucking how
Okay.
you guys want to describe it. It's the acceleration of the downfall of America, essentially. You don't like the way things are going, so you want to break it all down and start over. Yeah, well, marginalized communities get killed when that happens.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. It's more so the disruption of the establishment in regards to how they've been exploiting the population over the past, well, I don't know, it's the 1960s. It got pretty bad when it came to
How
our
do we do that
rights.
without getting rid
Like
of capitalism?
anarcho-capitalism? What are we doing?
Yeah, is it?
Huh?
Are you pleading for anarcho-capitalism?
No. No. I wouldn't plead for that. I mean, I'm not even really sure what the question is, but
How do we stop corporations from taking advantage of the workers without destroying capitalism?
that's a great question. Well, one, labor laws. Can you get to the root of that question? Because when you're talking about, how about could you rephrase your question so I can understand it a little bit better at what you're getting at?
Sure. We have a problem with corporations taking advantage of the workers, correct?
Sure, right.
We
Capitalism.
understand that corporations have too much influence within our politics.
Right. With money.
Through money, through things like Citizens United, they can literally get people elected by putting billions of dollars behind them.
Right.
Right. So the only way we can stop that is attacking capitalism, the actual corporations that are causing these problems to begin with.
Okay,
We have to
disagree.
abolish Citizens United.
I disagree, and no, I'm not advocating for Citizens United because that was bullshit. Corporations should not be treated as people. But what I think the solution is, rather than attacking capitalism, I think the solution is to get money out of politics. At least, either have federally funded elections. It's a good start. There's other things you could do, but I don't think you need to attack capitalism because, at least in my opinion, you guys might be socialists, but I believe that capitalism is one of the best things that's happened for society in the past 100 years or so, at least when it comes to quality of life and improvements and
That's wildly incorrect.
Yeah.
I think that's wildly incorrect.
Well,
Capitalism causes more people to be unalive than any other system. We've been fed and propagandized and crystallized public opinion on capitalism because, once again, we are enlaced with a lot of nationalism. But, I mean, if you want to get money out of politics, that's attacking capitalism, too.
Sure. I'm not, opposed to regulating things.
Well, Trump is. Trump doesn't like regulations.
Well, suck it up. Sometimes things need to get regulated.
You voted for him, so like I'm very confused.
Advocate for everything he does.
I haven't figured out what you did advocate for, though. To be honest with you, I'm not trying to be curt. It's just you're a Bernie bro before, and now you're saying you voted for Trump, but I don't know what you support.
Sure. Let me. I'll tell you the main thing I voted for Trump for was to end the wars, right? To end our chronic.
What made you think that Trump was a good diplomat?
Well, based off his record from 4 years ago, he ended several wars, established a bunch of peace treaties in the Middle East.
Also wrong.
No peace
No, he
treaties. Are you
didn't.
talking about the Abraham Accords?
Well, those were one of them.
That's not a peace treaty.
No, of course not. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a problem still. But it was moving things along, right? And people, I got a lot of buddies who are very, very progressive, and I talked to them about what happened in Afghanistan, and they always say, "Oh, well, this was Trump's plan." It's like, no, there was a very specific way that the withdrawal was supposed to be executed on, and if people don't hold up their end to the bargain, right, then you don't leave.
Bro, he negotiated with the Taliban instead of the Afghan government. What do you mean?
We were the Afghan government. And what's wrong with
They were in prison.
Who? The Afghan?
The Taliban.
Right, they're leaders.
Yeah, he made them release 5,000 fucking Taliban prisoners. And then those people went and broke out other people from prison.
And you're talking about, right, a couple weeks before everything hit the fan.
Yeah.
No, it was like the summer. It was a few months, like 9 months before.
And this is right during the transition period between Biden and Trump. But so hold on, there's a couple things, right? I don't see an issue with negotiating with our enemies. So what's the problem with negotiating with the Taliban?
You ever heard of not negotiating with terrorists?
Yeah, that's a fucking George W. Bush line. That's stupid. That's a Jeff Bolton line or whatever that guy's name
Okay,
was.
and why would we negotiate with terrorists and invite them to Camp David on the anniversary of 9/11, which is really fucking weird, and then leave the Afghan government out of the negotiation?
Were they left out of the negotiation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
He did
for
the
one,
exact same thing with Palestine, though. Like he left the entire Afghan, the ANA, the Afghan National Army. He left them out of the negotiations with the Taliban completely. Released 5,000 Taliban members. One of those members went on to do the unaliving that our Marines at the gate. Remember all that happened? Yeah, that was one of the people that Donald Trump released.
yeah, that was because the way in which the withdrawal was conducted. They were not supposed to be marching, and if
that was also his negotiation. The withdrawal was his negotiation.
yeah, it was, and the way it was is if you actually read the documents, the way it's supposed to work is if people aren't holding up their end of the bargain, you don't leave. You don't
Yeah,
withdraw.
so fun fact about that. Joe Biden actually tried to do that because in 2019, you had the Afghan pullout committee that stood up in Congress under Donald Trump. They were meant to oversee it. And then they're the ones that went to Biden and said, hey, we can't do this on this really hardcore timetable that Trump immediately set out. Also, because the Trump administration handed over no fucking plans to the Biden administration. We know this because Joe Biden had to start multiple intra-agency investigations to figure out what the fuck was going on in Afghanistan. And then instead of pulling out in May, we were going to pull out on September 11th. But because things started to get much more heightened in Afghanistan, it got pushed back to August. So, like, Trump screwed the pooch on it.
So why withdraw then if shit's going off? That's when you don't withdraw and you.
Because there were 2,500 soldiers trapped there. Because he went from 8,000 soldiers to 2,500 soldiers.
13,000.
You're talking about the Taliban.
No, U.S. soldiers.
Okay, they went from what?
So they were sitting there, 2,500 U.S. soldiers, 5,000 Taliban, and they're just like sitting there praying to God they don't get overran. And Joe Biden said, listen, we can add more soldiers, which we already have in recent history. Like a year ago, Trump tried to do, and they had a stalemate. And Trump tried to do it, and then he just basically left it alone. He's like, I don't fucking know what to do. I'm gonna have them home by Christmas. And then he never did that. And then he cried and bitched every day after he lost the election and totally forgot about the soldiers.
Still talking about Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you would still pull out, because Afghanistan is extremely strategic for national.
Man, it's almost like we were there for 20 fucking years. And over the course of those 20 fucking years, you had people over here that threw fits constantly about bringing soldiers home. And then when somebody finally fucking does it, and granted, Trump had 4 fucking years to do it. Trump had 4 fucking years to ensure that people came home and didn't fucking do it until the last year of his goddamn administration. And you want to talk more about, well, why did we pull out? Shut the fuck up. Somebody who lost friends over there, shut the fuck up. We spent 20 fucking years in Afghanistan. 20 fucking years. And
Hey, man,
year
I lost
in,
friends over there,
shut the
too.
fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Hey,
20 fucking years in
don't
Afghanistan.
speak to me like that. Let's have a rational
And year
conversation.
the fuck out. People over here threw a goddamn fit about, oh, support the troops this, support the troops that, bring our troops the fuck home. Trump had 4 fucking years to do it. He literally ran on the idea of ending the war in Afghanistan. That was something he ran on in 2016, and then he didn't fucking do it at all. He kicked the can down the road, didn't pass off any of the plan to the Biden administration, and we wound up with more lives being lost in Afghanistan as a result of it.
All right, let me tell you what you might be missing here.
I've
because
been to Afghanistan, motherfucker. I know more about this than you.
Hey, that doesn't necessarily you understand the geopolitical implications associated with it.
Oh my
Not the fact
fucking
that we
God.
left Afghanistan, it's how we left Afghanistan. We needed to leave Afghanistan, but we needed to retain the proxy government that we installed there so that we could use that fucking Air Force base
You
to
mean
bomb the shit out of China if we needed to.
Elected and
What
that
about
Trump
that don't you
abandoned after
understand?
Trump put the boot on their neck and told them you will start releasing
I don't think you
Taliban
heard
soldiers at a
anything
rate
I
of
just said.
100 per day, or we are going to cut off funding entirely. That's how we're going to keep a hold of that government.
I don't think you understood what I said.
I don't think you know shit about this.
No, I'm pretty well versed on this.
You're clearly not.
So it's again, it's not the fact that we left, it's how we left. We needed to make sure that we kept that Air Force base, we kept the proxy government in place, and that we retained regional control of the area. Because if you look at
Ashraf Ghani was not a proxy government. Ashraf Ghani was democratically elected. I know
whatever
this.
you want to call it, man, it's
Shut
a proxy
the
government.
fuck up.
Just
You
like
don't know
what
what
we
a
did in
proxy
South
government is.
America, just like we did in
Shut
Iraq.
up. You do not know what you're talking about.
I don't think you want to realize the way our government works is we take over countries.
What?
And we install
No.
governments. That we've been doing this
fucking
since the
Christ.
1960s. We've been doing this since the 1960s.
No.
Really? You guys really don't think we've been overthrowing governments since the before that, technically, but no? What do you think
Explain to
of
me.
Panama?
Explain to me how Ashraf Ghani was a proxy president.
No, it's not.
Explain
guy,
to me
it's
how
the government.
Ashraf Ghani was a proxy president.
Well, he was captive to the United States, for one.
The country was, because we were funding the country.
Exactly. So
That's not the same thing.
It's a soft proxy. It's very similar to what we did in Panama. We encouraged the Panamanians to leave Venezuela effectively, and then we installed effectively a proxy government so we could put a fucking canal there. There's like 20 other cases of this where we've overthrown governments effectively.
Explain to me how Ashraf Ghani, a democratically elected president in Afghanistan, is a proxy president.
Well, I suppose I can't.
Explain
I can't
to
express
me
it.
how Ashraf Ghani, a democratically elected president was a proxy president.
It's not a proxy.
You
President.
said he was a proxy.
No,
Explain
well,
to me how
the
he is a
government.
proxy.
He's not the government.
He was the president of
Yes,
Afghanistan.
this doesn't mean he's the government. There's different
He
facets.
was the president
Was it a
of
dictatorship?
Afghanistan.
Did they not have a Senate? Did they not have
Explain
a
to me how he actually no, they didn't have a Senate and a House of Representatives. No. I want you to explain to me.
Dictatorship?
Do you think every country that has a president or a prime minister has a House of Representatives and a Senate?
No, but
Okay,
there
then.
is some
So
sort
then
of
I don't know why
Senate
you're
or
using
parliament.
those words. Anyway,
there's gonna
explain
be
to
some
me.
sort
I
of
want
parliament
you.
or Senate.
You said the Afghan government was a proxy government. I want you to explain to me how the democratically elected president, Ashraf Ghani, and his vice president were proxy figures.
How much money did we give that government to prop them up, and give them quote unquote democratically elected? Democratic elections.
People voted.
Sure. People can
So
vote. Doesn't
explain
mean
to
the
me
government isn't
how
a
they
prop.
are proxies.
I think our terminologies are getting mixed up here. When
A
I
proxy
say proxy,
only means one thing. I want you to explain to me how they are proxies.
well, let me define what a proxy is. One in which we have basically a country that we have a military base and we have power over them
So then the United Kingdom is a proxy?
effectively. What? I mean, okay. Why don't you look at a map?
Germany is a proxy?
Effectively, they're look at their budget in regards
So
to their military
you think
expenditure.
every single country that has a United States military installation is a proxy?
A soft proxy,
You're
but
an
a proxy
idiot. You're
nonetheless.
actually just dumb. You're not worth the breath I have to waste on this conversation.
Bullying.
Well, that was interesting.
Just a fun fact about Thickless over there. He is a 14-year Army vet and very well versed, and someone who is a veteran of Afghanistan. So
Iraq.
And Iraq, yeah.
Well, we might need to work on his listening skills, but I appreciate his service and his enthusiasm.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Oh my god.
Likewise, brother.
Well, where do we go from here?
I don't know.
Probably
Nico, I've had you up for about 45 minutes. Do you want to say one last thing before I get to my next guest?
Sure. I encourage everyone to go look at Jimmy Dore. He's, I think, a really good balance between the right and the left. Hey, what was the 15 things? I need to go look that up.
Just search for 14 tenets of fascism.
All right, 14 tenets. And hey, last thing I'll say is, people need to be more skeptical in life. You know, don't believe everything you fucking hear. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Be a
Yeah,
fucking
man, we
skeptic.
go off primary sources. We know how to do our research.
Oh, I'm not saying you guys. I'm taking you guys at least at face value here, but just for everyone listening, just be fucking skeptical. Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, girl.
Take it easy, guys.
Enjoy your soft proxy landing.
Yeah, be skeptical. Don't know the difference between primary, secondary, tertiary resources. That's weird. Just be skeptical.
Hi, Ryan. Are you a Trump supporter?
No,
Cool. Well, we are looking for Trump supporters.
I know. I think in this instance, I was really just kind of joining just because I've been on TikTok. Every time I come up against a live, it's Trump supporters shouting down Biden supporters or Biden supporters shouting down Trump supporters. And just kind of wanted to jump on here because I appreciated it was a little bit more of a dialogue.
on this one. And I think just kind of based on some of the things that Nick, that last person, was saying, I think when we start to look at not necessarily the last 4 years or the last 8 years, but more like the last 35 to 40 years, there really has been a degradation of just American society, our democracy, our middle class, right? America's greatest innovation. And I guess, for me, it's really just kind of an appeal. I think if we start to look out on the outcomes that we all want, there's really a lot less division and conflict that we have, and a lot of opportunity just for us to start to look at the things that everybody wants for America and for Americans and, our place in the world. And just really to try to drive more of a dialogue than just the conflict. I get it. Like, take the high road. A lot of people are ticked off kind of where we're going. I don't support Trump. I think he's awful for our
Yeah,
democracy. But I
I'm
will
gonna be
just
honest.
say,
I'm gonna be honest.
I really
I'm
do believe
tired of
that.
people telling us to take the high road. I think Yahtzee should bite the curb. So we can have dialogue, but nah,
Yeah,
man.
no, yeah, I agree. I think when it comes down to it, we all have to look, and at the end of the day, it's not necessarily that. Yes, there are some very, very awful things that are going on in the Trump administration I don't support. But I guess, again, kind of my appeal here is, do we have an opportunity to be able to say, rather than continuing to have to yell at Trump supporters about the things that they're wrong about, is really to kind of convert the conversation around policy, facts, those types of things, listen, and help them to be able to understand that the things that they want are the same things that most Americans want. Stop memeing, stop reducing it to these straw man arguments, get in a real dialogue and start to figure out some ways that we can make sure, even if it's in the midterm election, they start making real questions, not about the brand, but about the policy, about the effect, the places where we want to be able to take our government, our democracy, our nation, and start to drive those types of conversations. And again, I went for a while there, but this is really intended to be a compliment. I'm really appreciating the way that people on this live in particular are really trying to be a lot more engaging. I know we have disagreements, and when it comes down to facts, we have to orient toward a shared understanding of real facts. But again, it's a compliment to everyone here, and that's my appeal.
I appreciate you coming up, Ryan. It's good. It's a good speech.
Great job, everybody here. Like I said, I know we're hurting, obviously, financially, socially, all those types of things, but take the time.
Okay, all right, guys. If you're friendly, my mods will mute you. Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I don't appreciate you cutting off my bit like that.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing that on purpose.
Playing the wrap it up music.
Please don't blame me for the sins of my boyfriend.
I'm sorry. I was halfway not even paying attention. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna call it tonight. I'm just gonna call it. It's 11 p.m. I'm gonna go climbing in the morning. These rocks are not gonna chalk themselves.
Not gonna climb themselves.
Yeah.
Rock lobster. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get ready for the gym tomorrow. Soy boy's gotta beef up so I don't get picked on anymore.
Yeah, get swole, bro.
Yep.
The struggle, man. All right, you guys have a good night. Y'all be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Guys, don't forget to give me a follow on my other platforms. I am live on YouTube right now. There's a good fight to be had if you guys are looking for people to argue with. I have a few hundred people on YouTube at all times that you guys can just completely talk shit with. if you guys want to go there and release something. I also, don't forget, I have merch in a Discord and all the other things, a Venmo and a Cash App. If you guys are trying to support me, become a supporter, become a subscriber or a member on YouTube. That's something that I just got today. Do all the things. You guys know what to do. Stay out of trouble. I don't need to say anything else. I love you guys. Big kisses. Good night, chat. Goodbye.